Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here, Nile Scala, with the man, the myth, teen sensation, Mr. Billy Tucci. Tucci, brother, 100 episodes.
Oh, man. I'm smoking myself a nice Cohiba Robusto #2.
Nice.
Habana in celebration.
Oh, wow.
Our 100th episode, bro.
Yeah, and I think for a little celebration, I'm going to have a little Nicorette, huh? Ooh, that's got a tingle on the tongue, huh? That sounds good.
Is Nicorette like when you smoke cigarettes? That kind of stuff?
I guess, yeah, why not? I got 3 patches on my back, too. I'm pumped. Let's do this. Let's do this. Man, brother, 100 episodes.
Peter Gilmore wants to kill somebody. So Soloff is in the audience.
Yes, Soloff's here tonight.
Oh, let me open my window before I get in trouble.
All right, well, everyone, thank you for coming to the 100th episode. We've got an awesome lineup of guests tonight. For our first hour, we're going to have Jimmy Palmiotti on, Jennifer Van Damsel, Mr. J.C. Vaughn, and Anthony Marques. Marques. So, dude. Marcus.
Without further ado or don't, why don't we introduce, because we might even have a super special guest appearing right now, too.
Really?
Oh, I think we do.
Oh, man, I got goose pimples, buddy.
And she's quite the hen, I'd say.
Quite ravishing, yes.
I know that, being quite the rooster.
Oh. So, Billy, with honors for our 100th episode, without further ado, please introduce our guests.
Well, we have the one, the only Mr. J.C. Vaughn, one of our partners in crime, who's always been with us from the very beginning. Of course, we have the queen of cosplay, Miss Jennifer Van Damsel. And, of course, our old pal, the godfather of crowdfunding comics, Mr. Jimmy Palmiotti. And, if I dare say, his beautiful wife, Amanda Connor, has joined us, too. So, without further ado, Nile.
And Mr. Anthony Marques.
Oh, I should say Anthony.
With the cute...
Anthony Marques. I thought we had mentioned him already. But we have Anthony Marques, of course, who is... not only is he a comic book retailer, an artist, a writer, an editor, an art director, he is also the new owner of the vaunted legendary Kubert School.
Yes, everyone. So welcome our. We've got a full house. Welcome, everyone.
Hey, Amanda.
I have a question real quick.
Yes.
How do people watch this? Is this through YouTube?
This is through YouTube.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
Hello, Amanda.
I'm new. I'm not like technology.
Amanda, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. Glad to have you popping in for a little guest appearance.
Thanks.
We look like the captain and Tennille right now.
I know. Sing us a song.
Like 90% of the audience is going, who?
Yeah, I know, right? I just referenced nobody understands.
I love the fact that it's a reference that 90% of the audience doesn't understand, and I'm smiling about it.
Well, fuck them. Let them go research it like they do everything else.
Just
Google it. What's great is that Jennifer, Jennifer doesn't even know where this is going to be on or what. Like, Jen, would you come on? She's like, yes, of course.
Yeah, I don't ask questions. I just do what I'm
told. Hell, you have no idea. Scala, let me congratulate you, my friend, because this is all the brain of the mainframe. You and I had this conversation less than a year ago. We were together in a Starbucks. We were just having a conversation. I don't remember how that story went. Was it my idea? Or was it your idea that I said we should do a show on that? How did that happen?
It was my idea. I was just, we were chatting, and just said, hey, man, I think I'm going to start doing this thing on Monday nights. I'm just going to go on and, get some people to come on with me on YouTube, and we're just going to go and see what kind of projects are out there, what's being crowdfunded, talk about them. And then your eyes lit up, like a little kid getting a big old lollipop. And you're like, what? Oh, man. Yeah. And all of a sudden it went from me like, hey, and you're like, yeah, and we'll do this. Yeah, we can have these people on, and we'll have that and this. And then after about 25 minutes of you pitching my idea to myself,
you said, good idea.
Yeah, I said, yeah, it's a great idea. Let's do it.
And then when you were on the heroin?
Yeah. We'll call our friends. I'll get Jimmy Palmiotti on the first show, and I asked Jimmy, and Jimmy said yes. And then by the time we got started, he was like in Europe or something. Come on to like episode 11 or something like that.
Yes,
but that was one for the ages. And Jeff Vaughn, of course, JC was with us from the very beginning.
The Frozen Bald Guy episode.
Frozen Bald Guy. Nickname too, Notorious.
The notorious TV. So Jimmy's getting all touchy-feely.
Feely. Peter Sharon, Billy is on fire. We got a great crowd in tonight. Yeah, man. So it's been crazy.
Literally on fire.
Literally on fire. Smoking away there.
Well, we want to thank you guys because you're all past guests of the show. You were there with us in our little teething time when we were learning our trade. And I think now, look at us. Right, Scala? Look at us.
100 episodes.
100 episodes and over 2,000 subscribers. That's pretty good, and especially in a day and age when you just want to talk about creativity and positivity and comics and art and
really eschewing the negativity that's out there on so many fronts. You guys have everybody on. You guys have top guns on. Like obviously, Jimmy's the mayor of crowdfunding. Amanda's a superstar, and yet on you guys have had guys on for really super indie comics, but they just had the right spirit, and it's very infectious.
Yeah, and I like that you guys pay for appearances. Like a lot of the other sites, they don't pay anything.
I'm not getting paid. I feel
Great to
screwed
get
over.
paid.
What?
wait, you didn't
Yeah, no, you didn't get the PayPal payment? You didn't get that?
you didn't get the PayPal?
No, I just feel so left out.
Yeah, Billy gives everybody a massage. You didn't get that?
Oh, I'll take that.
Yeah,
Open your
there you go, Billy.
Starbucks. Open your Starbucks app. There's a $10 gift card.
I want a massage on both feet.
Oh, Billy, she wants you to do her feet, Billy.
Is that? But can one, massage another woman's feet? I mean, remember what happened to Tony Rocky?
Yes, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then I'd have
Restriction.
to massage Deb's feet, right? Would that make sense?
Hey, as long as I get my foot massage.
She doesn't give a shit.
All right, so we could do that.
All right.
Saturday, we'll do it poolside in Miami.
Yeah, and live stream it. Why not?
I think that Mr. Blevins has just posted that he's changing his name to Brian Van Damsel.
Wow, look at that. You have another. What do you call your fans, Jennifer? What is your army? You have this massive army.
The Vandals.
The Vandals.
Vandals.
Jennifer and the Vandals. That's badass.
Like an
Thanks.
80s band.
How many Vandals do you have now?
I don't know. I don't keep track of numbers. I'm the worst. I don't know.
Thank you, Lee. Lee
Thank
gave
you.
you $5.
Thank you, Lee.
Fantastic. So, just so everyone out there that's watching knows why we, asked the guests we had on is, whenever we've had, Jimmy on, Jennifer on, and when we had Anthony on, we got such great reviews on it, So it was a nice, I can't even think of the word because I'm so excited, but it was a nice grouping of everyone together because, everyone's so excited when Jimmy comes on and hears, listens to his stories and, especially when Amanda pops in, then everything lights up and then she'll go away and everyone's like, oh, it's just Jimmy again. And then but
That's reality, man.
I even have to pee pretty soon.
She has to go soon.
and then having Anthony Marks, now with running the Kubert School, I mean, he's, shaping a whole nother, I'm calling you Marks. That's where we're at. That's
I
where
love
we're
it.
at.
Thank you so much for butchering my name as many times as possible.
It's
so
amazing
far.
to get my name right, but yours completely wrong.
It's so simple. Marquess. Just look at it. Just sound it out. It's wonderful.
Yeah. We're friends now. We've texted before, so now you're just
Yeah,
Mark.
I mean, we've talked on the phone a few times. It's all good. It's okay. It's all
Speak
fine.
to Anthony, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony, how
Hey, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of something here.
What?
Anthony,
Anyway.
how are things going? How are things going with the school?
School's going great. We just did a big announcement. We're going to be teaching intensives all across North America now with Fan Expo, which is a really great thing. We have. Oh boy!
That's what JC's got singing. Go ahead, JC, knock it out.
Okay.
Nah, it's just the phone, and naturally, a no number.
So yeah, but the school's doing really, really well. We have the DC Portfolio Project, which is specific to DC, and Andy Kubert teaches that. So he comes out. We're setting up for graduation. We're going to C2E2 next week, so we're very excited to get out there. We're going to be traveling with Lee Weeks. So that's going to be a really fun time.
Are you going to be driving or flying with Lee?
We're driving. I hate flying.
Oh,
You're gonna drive to Chicago?
Oh yeah.
oh,
We've done that before.
yeah, from New York. Bad.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah. I've done it a bunch of times. 12 hours.
It's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so bad, but we're doing a lot of really exciting stuff. We're talking about doing some publishing things at the school right now. There's just a bunch of stuff that's going on over there nonstop. So it's been really great. It's kind of a fever pitch of stuff going nonstop, but it's great. I love it. It's very exciting. The students are really on board. We've just renovated a whole bunch of the school as well. So it's all brand new offices. There's all brand new chairs and equipment for all the students. The library is being redone. Everything. It's just a great school. And, you know, to
hear that, Amanda? They fixed up the school after you left.
Yeah, that's right. Amanda's an alumni.
That's right. Yeah.
She's a Cubert school dropout, right? Yeah, she is.
Cubert school dropout.
It's all right. She's an honorary graduate now. So
no graduation day for you.
I like it when everybody sings. That's my favorite part of the show.
Everybody sings.
Yeah.
Did you drop out?
Yes, I did. I know.
Although they use her in all the ads, like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it. And my time there was fantastic.
Didn't Lee Weeks drop out too?
Yeah, he left during his second year, he told me.
Yeah, he left it. Yeah, all the big names dropped out.
I completely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You completed your second year, though? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
There you go.
All you need to do is make it to the second year and you're good. No, I'm just joking.
I mean,
Well,
seriously,
it was just a 2-year program in the beginning.
you start out
Was it
you
2
start
years?
out talking about the Cubert school. You say Lee Weeks, and I mean,
3
what more do you need to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 weeks in Amanda Connor in the first minute of we got to keep looking under the table for those names Anthony keeps dropping.
You know, I want to
Sorry,
see the camera really close to see if I still.
I'll keep quiet. I won't talk anymore.
No.
And of course, Anthony Marquez is a graduate of the Cubert School, right? Or did you drop out?
It's been a lot. Well,
You graduated?
I considered it at one point, but Joe talked me into staying.
I regret dropping out because it was really fun. And I think it would have been like really fun to stick around for, another year. I regret the fun aspect of it, and it's college. You
It
get to
is.
run around with your buddies and stuff.
It's true. I wish I had stayed in college another 10 or 12 years. I didn't understand. Like when I was a kid, I was into college. I could have taken 4 years, and I finished it in 2 to get into the workforce. And then like 8 years later, I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? I should have stayed in college like another 5 years. All my friends were there for like 8 years. I was hanging out with 30-year-old guys in my first year of college. I'm like, are these guys idiots? And I realized, no, I'm the idiot. They just kept going to school every year and having a great time.
It is. It's wonderful. School's a great place to be. So
Yeah, I went to college, and it was 8 girls to every guy, and half the guys were gay, and they had to take me kicking and screaming from there.
Was that when you were gay?
I had to, hey man, I couldn't go wrong. Even I couldn't screw that one up. And I went to boot camp like an
That's
idiot.
where you met your beautiful wife, right?
Right? Yes.
Yes.
Right by.
You in FIT, right?
Yeah, I went to FIT, and I was sitting
I
on the
have-
wall, and she came walking right by. I'm with my friends, and I swear to God, hey, if it was misogynistic, who cares? Jeez. I looked at my friends, and I said, I want that one.
You know why she gave you that side eye, all attitude stare?
Oh God, yeah, she was just like her, and she was
Yeah, she's badass.
running by, and I said, and then she told me that was all that girls. Remember, Amanda, we had that conversation that girls have a strut, right?
Oh, she
Like Jennifer, you
still
have a
has
strut walk. You have a strut walk and you just turn that on when you want to.
yeah.
Deb can throw a bottle like nobody's business. That's all I know. I've seen her throw an empty water bottle, and somehow the impact still shattered glass. She's got a good arm on her.
Do you remember the time, Amanda? So Amanda, Jimmy, Darwin, Frank, Thierry, and I were on a panel in Megacon, and Thierry was driving me crazy. Do you remember that? And he was just
Frank.
Oh, okay.
Frank. He was just driving me nuts, and he was just saying stuff to me. And I had my water bottle, and I threw it at him, and he ducked and it hit you in the head. You remember, Amanda? I hit you in the head with the water bottle. Oh, I'm glad you don't remember that.
I don't remember.
It must have been the impact.
Yeah, that brain blur you see in the X-rays, that's from the bottle, so she doesn't remember anything past today. So.
I know Frank hit me with a bottle, and I started swearing at him. This was like last year though.
Frank always hits the bottle at the cons. Wait, what are we talking about?
All right, Jennifer. So Jennifer, we have a lot of people saying I'm only here for you.
No,
Oh,
really?
And Jimmy had mentioned before, it looks like there's a murder scene going on behind you.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? What are you doing? No, behind
I don't
Jennifer.
have my glasses on.
Yeah, I've been working on a few different costumes with my Patreon. I've been writing a fantasy sci-fi romance. So
Oh, nice.
I'm making 3 costumes for that. And this is actually, my assistant came over and cleaned up after me yesterday. So this is actually clean for me.
Nice.
That's clean for me too. I'm way messier than that.
That is really clean. How about you, Anthony? Are you a clean artist in your studio, or are you a mess?
It depends. I call it organized chaos. My wife just calls it a dump. But it's like I like when I work, especially if I'm working on a story or something, I have lots of papers. There's a lot of stuff all over the place. Right now I've been transitioning everything over to the school, so everything's really organized, and we're turning my home office more so into a spot for my kids to play. But
What the hell was that?
me? No?
Wait, what?
What the hell was that?
I think
What was
Richard
what?
said it was a dump. He took a dump just now. Maybe he took a dump.
Were you,
What's happening? No, yeah, organized chaos. It's a complete and utter train wreck whenever I work on something. And then I try to clean it all up and I just throw it in a fireplace and burn it.
That's the best way I wish I could do that. It's burned so much shit I have.
I might burn my everything.
You might burn your everything? Right.
I just don't want to see it
Like
afterwards.
breakdowns, right? Like breakdowns or roughs when you're doing, like, I was doing cover roughs, and I hate this one. I just throw it on the floor.
Yeah.
Like 11 by 17 paper all over the damn floor.
It was Russian spies.
Russian spies. Just don't burn comic books, Anthony.
Yeah, don't burn comic books. And Anthony, how's your
most of
birthday going today? It's your birthday. Everyone out there. It's
How old are
Anthony's
you?
birthday.
How old are you?
36 today.
36. All right.
6, nice.
So it's going really well. Very nice and low key. I'm not really big into birthdays. I try to keep it quiet, a little simple.
Did you get cake? Get any cake today?
Oh yeah, I had ice cream cake. I had chocolate cake. Every single year since I was a baby, I've had lasagna on my birthday.
Now,
So-
who makes you lasagna?
Say what?
Did your wife cook the lasagna? Do you make it?
Oh yeah, no, my wife makes a homemade lasagna for me. She does the whole thing, puts it all together. It's incredible. I look forward to it. It's my favorite food. I'm like a real life Garfield. I love it. It's my favorite thing. My mom did it when I was a kid, and then, my wife is just incredible. She's a great cook. I love it. I look forward to it every year.
How is your wife's lasagna compared to your mother's?
You can't
good
ask
question.
that.
This isn't fair. This is
Hey, Billy's mom makes good meatballs, though.
Oh yeah,
My mother does, and Debbie even says my mother makes the best meatballs. I should call her and tell her to come up.
she does make killer meatballs.
Yeah.
If she comes up, though, she's going to catch me smoking a cigar. Not that I can't do anything I want because it's my house and I'm the man.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
You're going to hit me.
How are your
By
mom's
the way, we got
cutlets?
rid of the Christmas tree, whoever that was.
that was Blevins.
We burned it.
Yeah, we burned it.
Call Deborah.
I see Art the Bear is in there, so I just want to say what's going
Hey,
on.
Archie
Yeah,
Bear.
Archie Bear.
Artie Bear.
Artie Bear.
Artie.
Archie Bear was almost murdered by a serial killer, a famous serial
Yeah,
killer.
true story.
Hang out with him and everything when he was a little kid. And he murdered all these kids, and Art got away. That's a true story.
Artie got away.
That's a true story, right? No.
I love it. I think it's hilarious, but it's great.
Thank you, Man Bear Pig.
That's really frightening. How old was he?
I think he was like 15 or something.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
And
Wow.
where the hell is she? Call Mateo.
Hey, Amanda, did you like working in that the format of those the DC Black Label stuff?
Yes,
I don't mean
Yeah.
content wise. I meant proportions wise.
I did. It leaves you more width actually to work with. So yeah, I really like it a lot.
I always was a fan of the graphic
graphic
album format, so that to me this is a flashback to that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it a lot. I wouldn't mind, doing that format more often.
We did a signing, and the one guy goes, "I don't like it because I don't have bags that size," and I'm just like,
You know what's
wrong with you?
one of my favorite things about this format. I really like the question, and
Yeah.
I liked Superman Year One too. One of the things about it is that DC putting a little bit of muscle behind it might finally help us break the format thing. I mean, obviously, I'm a collector. I'm the Overstreet guy. right?
Right.
I don't have anything against that kind of stuff. But if we could get away from this parochial allegiance just to one format and people saying stupid stuff like, I don't like the format. You know, Jim Valentino, when he was the publisher at Image, really tried a bunch of different things. But Image on its own couldn't do it. DC or Marvel sticking to it can.
Yeah. I like it, and it actually fits in a magazine bag. We calm the guy down, talk him off the ledge.
I love them.
Yeah.
I have a comic shop myself. It looks great. I think they look great on the shelf. They're beautiful. I like seeing the bigger artwork. I just think they're an awesome format.
Where's
I do
your
too,
store, Anthony?
Dewey's Comic City in Madison, New Jersey.
Madison. You know it, Amanda? Madison?
I've been through Madison, New Jersey. In fact, I think my ex has a comic book store in Lake Hiawatha, which is a neighborhood of Parsippany that we opened up together. He used to play lacrosse in Madison.
And Madison's a beautiful town. It's really beautiful. The original owner, the store's been around for 28 years. And so I took that over a few years ago, and it's a great shop. I love it, you know. But I got to tell you, your guys' book was beautiful, and I do love that format. So it's awesome.
Now, Anthony, and JC and Jimmy,
That was the bat wiener.
like Nile, who don't know what you guys are talking about the format. Can you explain the format for the Black?
Get one.
It's magazine sized.
Yeah.
The difference is regular comic book, this thing. And
it's just roomier. It's got more, it's got more elbow room. So
Is it more like the European? Is it bigger than a European?
it's close to the graphic album format, not quite there.
Yeah.
But you can see, look at the difference in the width.
Yeah. That's what you said. I mean, So, it has an extra inch or two, and everybody appreciates that.
So Amanda, did you feel that larger format gave you more freedom storytelling wise? I mean, I had more panels, right?
Yeah. I'm a fan of jamming in a lot of panels. I like that. I enjoy it. A lot of people. I don't know.
Yes, TJ.
Oh, TJ.
That's what she said.
I'm a fan of like cramming in a lot of panels. So
Amanda likes small panels.
I do. I just I like the storytelling beats.
There's a lot of panels, and wait, let me
Can
get
you make that bigger, Nile? Can you expand?
Yeah. I can zoom enhance.
So there's a lot of panels on that page.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's the big orgy page on the other side.
You know what I liked about it was that you could do that without sacrificing the flow of the thing. This to me, the power of the storytelling in this allows you to drill down a little bit more like that.
We love the Black Label, but we wish we did have to censor things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went really far with it, and they reeled us in.
Yeah,
so.
DC's like, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, really?
Can you tell us something that they made you pull back on?
Oh, yeah. Couple of things. Actually, we had to redo 2 pages, and then we had to put things in front of people.
Yeah.
So, you
will not be seeing Harley's nipples.
No, the battle line kind of killed it for everybody, I think.
Wasn't the whole point of the Black
Bat
Label
wiener.
that push those boundaries, though?
Well, we do push boundaries. The book, when you read it, you'll see we do push back. It's just that, certain things they tell you, look, our job is to go over the line. Their job is to tell us we've gone too far. So there's nothing wrong with it. The book is still a lot of crazy shit in this book. But and it gets even crazier next issue. But
how many issues is it?
It's 4 issues. We've written 2 and working on the 3rd one, and we don't know what's going to happen next. So that's great.
What's the page
we're making
count?
it up.
What's the page count for those?
32.
Wow. So, like Janet asked, it's a lot more work, though, right? I mean,
You're having 2 more panels, isn't that?
Yeah, it's every other month, so that gives us a little break.
That's good.
Between.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't the point of that?
What? I'm sorry.
Wasn't the point of that series that you could have like it was strictly like adults for adults?
That's what I think that's what it started out being, but then I think they sort of.
I think they're just treating it as a combination of that and premium projects, because I don't think you can really say that about Superman Year One.
Yeah, no. Look,
No.
there is no nudity in the books. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Except while you're writing it.
right, we do push it. But when I'm writing it, we're naked. So that's when Amanda and I are naked when we work on it. So I don't know if
Do
that.
you live stream?
Yeah. What's that?
Do you live stream?
Just to a couple of people that pay, right, Jen? They got to pay for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Don't give that away for free.
Yeah. That's why I have this hat on.
Accountant, she knows.
Now Jen's done. Now, Jimmy and Amanda, how did you guys meet Jen?
I was actually Albuquerque Comic Con.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember which one it was.
It was in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And she was dressed up and looking amazing as always.
Yeah.
And
you always look fantastic.
and then we got to work together in New York for the watch company.
It was Invicta at the Invicta booth.
She made an amazing Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And she was signing just as many autographs as us, if not more.
I don't know about that. You guys had a line forever. People love you guys.
Yeah, because I had to go up there for a meeting, and you were like a rock star there.
Oh,
you took absolutely killer. It was fantastic.
You are like the best. I mean, like your Harley, especially at New York Comic Con that year. Oh my God! Last year, the year before last. Wow. Because I met you, Jennifer, at
Dallas
show, right? Austin or San Antonio or something.
It was either Austin or Dallas.
Or Dallas, maybe.
I think it was Dallas because it was before fan.
You were adorable. I said you were awesome, right? You were an cowgirl.
My Western Wonder Woman, and you were like, "I'm gonna draw that," and you still, like, what, 6 years later, haven't seen it.
I'm still no drawing.
He's still drawing. He's almost done with that drawing. His hand keeps shaking.
And then I was at that show too, and then it was you and Nadia, right? And me, Jimmy, and Amanda, and you guys didn't know anybody.
That was at Megacon Orlando. I think that was like the next time that I saw you.
No, wasn't that? I was at the same show when we were in Albuquerque. And then you guys came out with us, right, Jimmy? Remember we went to the casino and stuff? Jimmy, Amanda, and Jennifer, wasn't that all the same show?
I think you're imagining that, Billy.
I think that's a different show.
You're combining all of them. Into one.
No, that was a different show. That's not the one we met Jennifer
That was
at.
Albuquerque, but that was like a while back.
No, it was a casino. That was Jennifer wasn't at the casino one. It was the.
You were at the regular Albuquerque show, right, or the one?
No, it was the one that was in the casino, but that was really before I knew you guys.
Right.
Orlando was the first time that you're saying after the con we hung out.
Okay,
that was a crazy one where Marcy got robbed.
What?
I
remember that.
That's when the Beth owned the show. That's when it was a really good show.
It was a great show. So, those of you who have done the Megacon in Orlando, Anthony, have you done Megacon in Orlando?
No, this will be the first time I'm doing it. Is this year?
Well, it used to be, right, Jimmy, like in February or early
March? It was owned by a family, and it was fantastic. You know, they treated the comic people like gold. They treated the comic people like they treat the movie stars now.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's gone away.
And it was the first convention of the year, first big show. Everybody went. Remember? Everyone went.
Yep.
I mean,
not everyone.
Johns and Dan DiDio and all the Marvel big guys, all the DC guys. And real huge Comic Con. It was amazing. And they were going at the Doubletree Hotel. Soloff was there.
Yeah.
We get in some trouble over there, too. That was good times.
Are you going this year?
No, I haven't been invited back to that show since Beth sold it.
The whole tandoori chicken incident.
What's that?
The whole tandoori chicken incident. Billy hasn't been invited back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not a big fan of that green room they have there. Not a big fan.
Oh, yeah, remember that one?
Yeah.
What's the next show you guys are doing?
We're doing Miami, and then we'll do C2E2. Yeah.
C2E2.
Yep.
Nice.
Jen's doing it. Not Billy, though. No Billy.
You're not doing C2E2?
Boo. We're going to see you in Miami, though, buddy.
I did 23 conventions and last year, including Free Comic Book Day. And this year I'm doing 14. I think the year before I did 25, and it's just, I'm done.
You going to Europe, Billy? Any in Europe?
Not yet. No. There's some talk of it in the fall. That's why I didn't announce that, but that would be the last one.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Wyatt.
Okay.
Hey, Wyatt. Thank you, Wyatt Holiday. Good to see you, buddy.
Amanda's gonna run.
I'm gonna run.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, you guys. It was so good to see everybody.
I mean, Annie's watching The Masked Singer, though, so I don't think she's going to leave the team.
Congratulations on your 100th show.
Thank
you very much.
We'll see you this weekend, Amanda.
See you then. Take care, you guys.
All right.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes.
Hey, Jimmy. What is this 5G stuff about with DC?
I guess it's their next big event thing they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really can't say. I can't say. I know what I need to know about it, and that's all I know.
Fantastic.
Well,
there you have it, folks.
Amanda and I do books. We don't do them in continuity. We do Wonder Woman every month for the 100-page, and it's done in one stories. Our Harley book that just came out, and JC, you'll understand this, is the next issue of Harley after we left a couple of years ago. So it takes place 3 hours later.
Oh, right.
I you know what's great is, even though you guys have a little more latitude in this, it reads that way. So
yeah. I mean, we wrote it before. I mean, we went to the movie set, the Birds of Prey. We were on a set. And,
wait, there was a movie?
Yes, and a very good one. If you guys didn't see it, it's so much fun. I don't know what everybody's hang up is about that movie. It's such a good movie. It really.
To be honest, everyone I know that has seen it is like, I don't understand the bad reviews.
There is no bad reviews.
I actually, I have friends who've walked out.
Yeah, well, those are not friends of mine. Those.
Actually, Jimmy, it is an art collector who has some of your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I first off, to get me to walk out of a movie, it's got to be frightening.
Yeah, and not only that, he was on a plane.
He walked out of the plane. Good.
Wow,
that guy. Let him fly off the plane.
Fly off the plane. Let him fly out.
I'll tell you, Margot Robbie is amazing in the movie. The movie is just a blast, and it's a girl power movie. I mean, it's all about dangerous women. I thought it was a blast. None of you guys saw it, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
Actually, I'm going Saturday.
You'll like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Everybody that I've talked to have said that it's very good.
Yeah,
I've heard nothing but good stuff about it.
Yeah, and I don't get the guy hate on it because they look great on that screen. I mean, that's just so much. They're just so much fun to watch, and Margot Robbie's just amazing. She treats us like gold. Amanda and I, when we visited her, and we went to the premiere in London, and she's just a warm, smart person.
Yeah, she really is. She's a real movie star. I mean, she is. I mean, look at her. Even and how few lines she had in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And how just the impact she had on that film.
That is a great movie.
And if I don't know if spoiler alert, have you guys all seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Right.
I love that movie.
Oh my God! Because you know what happens to Sharon Tate, right? And it's like heartbreaking, and you're like, no, I mean, she really captured that beautiful essence of Sharon Tate.
And Brad Pitt was pretty damn good in that movie too.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, he was great.
He was great.
He won an Oscar.
Yeah, it's true. He won an Oscar.
That's how great he was.
That I don't know. A lot of people don't know is that Jimmy, are you
won an Oscar?
The only, Jimmy won an
Oscar. Though it's
the only. I mean, you're one of the few comic creators that has had 2 films made, major motion pictures, all directly attributed to the success you did with these, B, C list, D list characters at the time before you took them on.
Yeah, I mean, Jonah Hex and definitely, Harley appearing in the 2 films, plus Painkiller Jane was a TV series. I've had like a lot of weird successes. Those 2 movies had nothing to like Jonah Hex. Literally, I had nothing to do with except they based it on the books we did. And
Vaguely
crappy movies. So
vaguely,
yeah.
If they had just taken any 4 issues, it would have been better than that.
I agree. Although
your Jonah Hex
is great.
Your Jonah Hex was so freaking good.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Jim, have you seen Jonah Hex on TV with Jonathan Sage playing him?
Yeah, Jonathan's a great guy, and I love Jonathan. I keep telling Jonathan right before they shoot a scene to roll in dirt because his jacket's too clean. Like everything's so clean on the CW, like all the costumes are perfect.
Yeah,
you know. And I'm like, Jonah Hex can't have a clean. He can't have a clean coat. He's got to
even coming straight out of the rain, he couldn't have.
Yeah, but
he's a really good actor. Billy had him call me from a show because literally 3/4 of the conversations Billy and I have are quotes from That Thing You Do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Love that movie.
You know,
look at Billy's name, teen sensation, Billy Tucci. It's a quote from that movie.
Jonathan, Amanda and I were out in LA, and he texted me and said, let's meet up. So that's how I first met him in the lobby in a hotel where we just talked about Jonah Hex for like an hour and a half. So it was pretty cool. He's such a great guy.
That's good. That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Remember, and he talked to you, Jeff. Remember,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And Billy told him, we quote you all the time. And he was like, yeah, that's really nice. And he called me, first words out of my mouth, we quote you all the time.
Yeah, and then I put him on my wife too. And she's like,
she said the same thing. And then he goes to your Twitter, and it says teen sensation Billy Tucci.
I'm like, dude, I'm not kidding with you. You gotta think I'm so. And he came over to our booth because my friend AJ went over there and said, you got to meet my friend Billy Tucci. He's a comic book. And he came over and he had to spend 5-10 minutes there, and then finally they had to get him to go back to his line because we were just hanging out and laughing, and he's just such a great dude. You know what I mean? And
there are certain celebrities that is so nice.
It's so cool, isn't it?
Appreciate the comic book people.
Yeah,
like there's not a lot of them, but the ones that do go up and beyond.
Absolutely true. Hey, TJ asked a question. Was that at Baltimore? And TJ, Billy was at Baltimore, and I was on the phone at home in New York.
Yeah. And then I learned, like, in the 10 minutes, like, his dad was a cop, a longtime cop. He might have been the chief of Baltimore police or something like that. And he's just an awesome guy. He's
a great screenwriter too. He's a screenwriter.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's pretty damn talented.
Huh.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We got to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely need to make that happen because there's people we need to prank phone call.
Old Bean Star Tager said Billy Tucci is wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
Oneaterful. I'm Oneaterful.
Yeah, the Oneaters.
The Oneaters. Jen, have you ever seen That Thing You Do?
What?
It's Hollywood Squares.
What?
Have you
ever seen that film, That Thing You Do?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Oh, you got to see it. It's wonderful.
Well, by the next time you come on, you'll have to see that. We should send her a copy.
I got a question for Jennifer.
Give me a DVD. Yes.
I have a question for Jennifer. So have you met any celebrities that have been excessively nice to you, like, above and beyond? Besides Billy Tucci. Besides Billy.
Yeah, I'm not really into
Nile.
celebrities. I've never attempted to meet anybody at a con. I mostly just walk around Artist Alley, and Artist Alley is kind of more my speed.
I got you.
How about you, Anthony, and your travels as a comic superstar?
Oh yeah, you know me, the superstar himself. The best one I had was I was at Motor City Con, and the cast from all the kids came over.
Oh, neat.
They were really cool, and they all wanted some artwork. I did some sketches for them. We had a nice talk, and they were all super, super nice kids. They were great. George Takei was really cool. I chatted with him in the green room for a little bit.
Do you play Jim Lee? That might be my number one celebrity that I met. That I literally cried. Jim Lee.
Jim
Lee's awesome.
Yeah. He drew Catwoman for me, and I was literally sitting there crying.
He's a celebrity, Jim.
I went up to him pretty drunk in Baltimore and introduced myself.
Yes, you did.
I was like, Jim, Nile, Scala, how are you? Here's my card. How you doing? I got to show you. You should come on sometime. It was great seeing you, but I got to get back to my group over there.
That's great.
When we were in London, they took a group shot of all of us, and I snuck behind Jim during the picture and pointed at his butt, and that photo's made the round. Pointing at it.
That's great.
So, Jim, so you were in London for the premiere, for the Birds of Prey premiere.
Yeah.
And Margot was there, and all the cast came out, and they were talking.
We hung out with Rosie Perez, a girl from Brooklyn. So that was cool. Yeah.
Was she cool?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, she just was so excited to meet Amanda and I, and we didn't understand why, but we were happy about it. So
That's awesome.
Did
It
you read
seems like she'd be
comics?
like such an awesome person.
Familiar with your books? Like, did they give them your comics and all, like for inspiration?
So the screenwriter and Margot read all of our books, cover to cover. If you see the movie, you're gonna laugh out loud because it looks like Amanda's stuff in a lot of when you watch at least the first hour of the movie, looks like a ton of Amanda's art, like the way it's framed.
Nice.
Everything from the roller derby stuff to the stuff in her apartment to her like obsessing over food, and she's getting chased and all of a sudden she sees something shiny and just stops everything for it. There's like so much stuff they took from the comics that was really a lot of fun to see on the big screen. You know, that they were so loyal to the character, and they also did when you watch the movie, Harley talks to you in the beginning. She's explaining her life, and that's right from our comic, where she starts talking to you and breaks the fourth wall, talks to you, and then goes backwards and tells a story. And it's just a really clever movie. It has a little bit of a Pulp Fiction weirdness to it. You know, it is very violent, though. I will say this: do not bring kids. It is violent. Probably the most violent of the DC movies.
Now, Jared Leto's character, he wasn't in it, right? As the Joker, and why was that?
Because if you see the movie, they set up in the first 2 or 3 minutes what happens to their relationship. And then you see the movie is about her. She's now on her own. Mm-hmm. And when she was with Joker, she's protected in Gotham. And once everybody hears she's not with the Joker, all her craziness she does.
Is there a price to it then?
Yeah, it's open season for everybody. There is a great scene where she's drunk and she vomits in someone's purse, which me and Amanda just were clapping at that scene because it's like this movie is not what you expect to see in a superhero movie.
That sounds like Nile's Jim Lee story.
There you go.
Hey, it was a good time. We had a lot of fun. Hey, we got Mark C just did a super chat, and I don't know if any of you guys know this. I don't know anything about a Goon animated movie. So speaking of comic book movies, does anyone know Eric Powell and any update on the Goon animated film?
I've met him, but I don't really.
I know that Ben Garin and Thomas Lennon are huge fans and friends with Eric. They hosted the Eyes, and if you guys know them from Reno 911. And I know that they had, I don't know if they were pushing to get that film made. And I know that they made that awesome trailer. If you guys ever saw that, mm-hmm. He's in the bar and stuff like that. It's amazing animation, but I don't know. That's
I haven't heard anything either.
Right?
I think wasn't it Paul Giamatti did the voice of the one?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
I don't know. I didn't see the trailer. I really didn't. I didn't know that they were doing a Goon movie stuff.
It's amazing, and it's a great book. If you guys have ever read, you want to read a fun, violent, friggin' comic. I mean, he's
and beautifully illustrated.
Oh yeah.
So
that's not true, people. That's not true.
now
I gotta bail out.
Yes.
Oh,
Anthony, quick question.
Yeah.
You're somebody here watching, and they want to go to the school. What's the best way of contacting you? Through the website, or how do they?
I always tell everyone, please visit www.kubertschool.edu. It has all the information that you could want. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram, Facebook. We're on all the different social medias. Please check us out. We have great presence on there. We're always updating all of our social media accounts, and we really like to stay up to date and give as much information out as possible. We have some really great events coming up. We have the open house in April. It's on April 25th. It's a Saturday, so make sure you come on out. Like I said, we're going to be at C2E2 next week. So we're really looking forward to seeing everyone. And then we have the big events going on with Fan Expo all across North America at all of their Tier 1 shows. So we'll be doing intensives and teaching classes for people that want to put together their portfolio. We'll be doing portfolio reviews, panels, everything that you can think of now all across North America. So that's a big to-do for us.
Anything coming up at your comic shop?
And then, for Dewey's, we really pride ourselves on a really great free comic book day. So we've already started putting that all together, and we have Tom Mandrake, Jan Dursema, Klaus Janson is going to be one of our big guests. and a bunch of other people. We usually have about 25 different artists that come out to the shop and draw all day. So if anybody wants to show up, you guys want to come on by, I would love to have you. You know, Jimmy, Amanda, Billy, come on by. It'd be awesome. I would love it.
And that's at Dewey's in Morristown? Is that what Dewey's is?
Madison, New Jersey.
Okay. Now,
And
so the Kubert School will have a booth at C2E2?
Oh, yeah, we'll be all set up at C2E2, so definitely come check us out in the exhibitor area. That'll be really great. Ask any questions that you got. I'll be more than glad to answer them for you. And then we'll also be waiving our application fee while we're at the convention as well. So this way, if you really want to apply, it's free while you're there. Can't go wrong.
And if I may add, and also keep an eye out, because myself and Anthony will be having our first episode of the Kubert Cast.
Yeah. We're going to be putting together the Kubert Cast. It's going to be great. We're going to have some special guests that'll come on. We'll do some different talks. It's nonstop. We got a million things going on. And then I'm doing Green Hornet. So that's really a great big deal for me. That's a nice move. Written by Scott Lobdell. I'll be doing all the pencil and inking. Talking with Jay Bone about inking it as well. We just got to get that finalized. And then that'll be great. And then Lee Weeks is doing a cover. We've got Leonardo Romero, myself. I believe Dave Johnson's doing a cover.
Oh, geez, that sounds great.
Nice.
So really big to do for that. So I'm very excited. So just spitting out as much info as I can. I'm sorry, Jimmy, you brought it up, and now I just can't stop the waterfall.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. Enjoy your birthday, Anthony, and thank you for joining us.
Birthday.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Happy 100th episode. Keep up the great work, and I hope to be back on again real soon.
Anytime, brother. Anytime. Good to see you, pal.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Hey, Anthony.
And we got a question from Brian Blevins for Jimmy. Jimmy, were you surprised by how completely different Margot Robbie played Harley in Birds as compared to Suicide Squad? Everyone here is awesome.
Wow, I didn't actually. I didn't think she played it even a drop differently than Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, she was in a romance. She was in, a different state of mind. And then with the Birds of Prey movie, they just broke up and she was a complete wreck. So I think she stayed so true to the character. I didn't really see much different.
So you see it as a natural progression rather than wrenching change. Absolutely.
I mean, anybody who's in love with somebody and it's the love of their life and they lose that relationship, they're not going to act the same. It's going to have an effect on them. And I think with the movie, Margot playing Harley in that movie, she's heartbroken. And she doesn't know what to do with herself. She's never been in a position. She's always been with him. So now she's alone and everything's kind of caving in on her. So I thought it was a very natural, actually, next step to the character. I didn't think it was that different at all.
And she was in a real relationship in Suicide Squad. I mean, that's what it was. And that's kind of what it was when you took over the book too, right? I mean, you guys are the ones that pulled her away, that made her break away, that rode her to break away from the Joker.
Yeah, when they gave Amanda and I the book, we said we don't want to write a character that's an abusive relationship and treat it like it's fine. And the other thing is, if you're going to name a book Harley Quinn, I got to get her the hell away from the Joker and from Gotham, because she just becomes a secondary character like all the other Gotham characters. You're second to Joker, you're second to Batman. So by taking her out of there, we figured the focus could be on her. She could have her own supporting cast and not be part of Batman's supporting cast. And then we can take her away from the Joker, let her be her own character for a while, get her, get back into the game of being who she was and who she is. And that's what we did for the first couple of years. For the first 2 years of the book, we never even put the Joker into it until the last end of the second year. So, and we made it a point that, to say she recognized that she was in a bad relationship and she was not going to be that person anymore. And that's pretty much what it was about. And
so it was a real character evolution. So that's what you're talking about the movie doing too, which is the next stage in life.
A lot of people miss the relationship with them, but it was an abusive relationship. But I always say, I love what Paul Dini and Bruce Timm, I mean, that's their character. I love those old books, but both Bruce and Paul said the same thing. It's like the character needed to grow from there. Yeah. And it seemed like the natural place for her to go. And, the people who pick on what we do, I have to say that the two creators that created the character love what we're doing. So
what more do you need?
Yeah.
You guys did a great job with her. Yeah, you would. She wouldn't be where she is today if it wasn't for what you guys did.
No, I agree. I hope there's a check in the mail. Oh wait, this could be my check from this. Now, we definitely put her in the spotlight, and things get made. If you guys haven't seen the cartoon yet, it's pretty damn amazing.
It's actually, you know what? I love the freaking cartoon. I think it's hilarious.
I think you might like the movie then, because it is. You know how crazy the cartoon is? The movie had that. It's so over the top. Everything's so wild in it. Like I said, the people keep telling me, I heard it's this, I heard it's that, and I'm like, no, you really need to see it. So,
Now, Jennifer, for the New York Comic Con, like I said, at the big Invicta booth, and they had a huge booth in the center of New York Comic Con, and you were Harley. I mean, she has so many different. What are we all laughing at?
Levin's one of our producers too, by the way.
Brian's just unrelated, can no longer be friends. Brian, I didn't really know we were friends, so I'm guessing this is it for us.
Hey, I want to ask a question because we're coming up on the top of the hour.
Yeah.
It's the makeup.
And I wanted to hear what everybody else is working on right now.
Well, I want to be Brian's friend. That's my goal.
Okay.
Let me finish my question first, and we'll go with that.
Well, I want to know what's going on with JC.
Well, Billy, do you want to finish your question first?
Yeah, Jennifer. Now with all the different costumes that Harley Quinn had, that Amanda has designed for her and all through the years, and then you picked a specific costume for the New York Comic Con, a specific look of hers.
Yeah. Well, Invicta, they specifically asked me to do Amanda's Harley.
Oh, they did. So is that why? Okay. All right.
I mean, I've done a whole bunch of different ones. I've done a burlesque Harley. I've done most recently a pinup Hollywood Harley that I call it.
Oh, cool.
So I've done Harley a lot.
What's your favorite one you like to do?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I always just get obsessed with whatever is newest for me. Because by the time you see something like 2 years later, you're like, oh, that's old news. Now this new thing. So my Hollywood Harley is probably my favorite. And I was working with Chad Harden too. So hopefully something cool will come out of that.
Yeah.
Nice. Now I got a question. You see a lot of and even like there are women that dress like she at these shows and stuff. And a lot of times I see them that now when you were Harley, you had your face was white, but it was really light, very seamless. You see a lot of them with the real cakey makeup. Like, what do you use that, like, if there's any cosplayers watching that, sometimes they have that thick white paint, and then sometimes they have something that was more lighter like yours. Yours seemed a lot more natural. And what did you use for the white face paint?
I always use the Ben Nye White Clown Cream because it's not a paint. It's like a cream. It takes a while to put on, but then as long as you put white powder on over it, I mean, it takes me usually like at least an hour to do just the white face.
Stuff that Nile uses.
It is. That's how
I like the term clown cream. I don't know why.
Clown cream. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I want a horn.
That's a totally different thing.
I want the bozo.
No, you just wear the nose, Billy. That's all. So what conventions do you have lined up this year? Are you hitting the convention scene again?
So far just C2E2. That's the one thing that I've booked with going with some friends and sharing a booth and stuff like that. I'm hoping to get into Dallas Fan Expo because this is the closest convention really other than Comic Palooza in Houston, which I'll be at. But yeah, Dallas, it's kind of like my secondary home. Before they sold to Fan Expo, I was at like every single Dallas show for like 3 or 4 years. So hopefully I can get into that one.
Nice. And what else do you have? What else are you working on? So you've got your book going, you said earlier?
Well, it's not a book. I'm doing through my Patreon. I'm writing a sci-fi romance that's also Victorian inspired. So I'm designing 3 costumes and making 3 costumes for that. There's a hero, a damsel, and a villain. And my Patreon, I usually write a few different scenarios and then they get to, through polls, pick what happens. So we're kind of like all writing it together. It's been really cool.
Oh, nice. And just so everyone out there knows, I mean, you do everything yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be photographing it myself. Like I said, designing and making the costumes.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, thanks. It's a lot of work, but it's really fun. I really enjoy doing. I'm a control freak, so I really enjoy doing the whole thing myself.
I appreciate on Instagram when I open it up every day. You're like the first thing.
Oh,
And
Yeah, it's always at the top of my feed.
And I'm just like,
cool.
oh, yay. You know?
Aw, thanks, guys. You're so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Aw.
And
Coffee in the morning.
yeah. And Jeff, what do you JC, what do you have going on?
I have, let's see, April 8, we have a facsimile edition of the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide #1. In March, March will come first. Yes, as it usually does. I have Bedtime Stories for Impressionable Children #2, which is my sort of horror anthology. And then we've got Price Guide 1 facsimile edition, which has, like the high end in that book is Action Comics #1 is $300 because this is our 50th anniversary. Then in May, we'll have Overstreet at 50, which is sort of a companion book. And then we have Free Comic Book Day. And then we have Overstreet number 50, which is our 50th anniversary edition. That comes out July 22.
We got to do a show on that.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
would love
yeah.
that.
We need to do an Overstreet show just from the history of it.
Okay,
you know?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. You let us know when. Just let us know when you want to do it.
Glad to.
And we got another.
There was a question. Yeah, that's what I was just going to
Yeah.
say. I wanted to hear that question for Jimmy.
Well, I was going to say, JC, if I show you a comic, can you tell me how much it's worth?
No.
Jimmy, have you ever written Green Arrow? I've never read your Oliver Queen, but I think your writing voice would be a good fit.
It's funny because I love Green Arrow. So I just like the character, not that he's shooting the arrows. I just like the character, the way he's written. So I would love to do Green Arrow at some point,
Did you like Mike Grell's run?
What's that?
Did you like Mike Grell's run?
I did. When I was a kid, I read that. And I just like, I see him as a grumpy old man that, that doesn't want to bother with technology and he'd rather just shoot an arrow into something.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that thing. So Mark, that's a kind of good suggestion. I might see Dan DiDio next week. I might ask him about that. So thank you. Good idea.
Brian Blevins. Jennifer, have you ever tried out YouTuber products like the makeup from James Charles, Jeffree Star, or even Keemster's clown makeup for cosplay?
No, actually, I think the only person I've actually heard of those was Jeffree Star, but I mostly use MAC for a lot of my makeup. And like I said, Ben Nye, the clown white, it's a cream base. So like it's, I'm not like, I don't watch YouTube. I don't know anything about YouTube people. I kind of live in my own little world. I don't know a lot about social media superstars or anything like that. I follow artists.
Yet you are one.
Really, I know. My sister said to me the other day, she was like, you're like famous. And I'm like, what? Like, I never even considered myself. Like I said in our last show, that social media kind of just like happened to me. I never tried to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it kind of happened. So I don't know anything about social media, honestly.
Great.
Well, it's working for you.
I guess it's going okay.
Very nice. We had another question that popped up, and this gentleman also said he was going to send emails to everyone for a convention he's putting on. But he did ask. I don't know if any of you guys have personally done this, but he just asked. I have a crowdfunding question. Have any of you guys crowdfunded anything like a sketchbook? I do copious sketches and research for a lot of my illustrations, and thought about compiling them.
William, I think it's a great. It's if you're known for your art and you do a sketchbook, you'll probably have a lot of success. If you're not known, you're going to have to make sure people see a lot of your sketches that you're going to try to sell a sketchbook for.
Yeah.
Or unless you have a lot of relatives that want to support you, that's also great for crowdfunding. But it's definitely something. I bought other people's sketchbooks on Kickstarter, so it's been done. I haven't done it, but I actually have a shelf of sketchbooks I bought from Kickstarter, so it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a great way to get into crowdfunding. Instead of doing a whole comic, is to do a comic.
But again, to Jimmy's point, if you're known for it, or if you can showcase in your pitch, you can showcase a lot of the sketches for it and show the quality of your work. It's not the same Alpeo battle, but if you're just coming in as an unknown quantity The marketing, just like the rest of it, the marketing is going to be on you. Guys, I gotta cut out. So thanks for having me on. I'll see you guys soon.
Hi.
And Jen, nice to meet you.
Nice to
Jimmy,
meet you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Old Payne, talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
All right.
Yes. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, for people that are, kind of starting out, that's kind of what like DeviantArt's for. Like those websites where you can kind of just post what you're doing.
Yeah.
Instead of having it collected.
There's a lot of people that do great single illustrations, but there's not a lot of people that do sequential art really well. Like it's a real different skill set. And I always have to explain, people bring me portfolios at cons and I'm like, these are amazing drawings. Do you have something with 4 or 6 panels showing a progression of a story? And that's like the shutdown. Like it's it's harder and harder to find people doing sequential art, which is kind of what we need, for comics. I mean, that's basically, otherwise it's just illustration. And I love illustration. But we're also in the business of telling stories as well.
Indeed.
Although a Jennifer photo cover for a comic we're doing probably would be pretty awesome.
Hey, just let me know.
I'm thinking
love working with
Payne. You can do a Payne.
Okay, so you asked me about that,
Yeah.
and I bought it and I started reading it, and I've been kind of like writing my own story, and I started seeing like some similarities, and I had to stop reading it because I didn't want to like be like, oh yeah, all this stuff. So I got like halfway through, and it was awesome. It was really amazing. But like I said, it was kind of similar to what I was writing.
We'll talk. We'll talk in Chicago. We'll talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
I already have the pants. Like I've been putting together. I have the wig.
Well, that's all you need is the pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, just pants.
It's like a pants cover. We can do a pants cover.
Like these pants.
And then the next Kickstarter will be like the top. So you have to put the 2 books together.
Nice. I like that a
Wait,
lot.
wait like 8 months for the top.
Now, would you guys coordinate anything with Jennifer again? Like at any conventions? Like any, have her cosplaying, anything that you guys are working on?
I would love to. I mean, the thing is, she'd have to it's like Jen it's an empire with her. She has the costume change every day. She has all the prints and everything. I would have no problem if if I went to a con said, hey, look, you're inviting us as guests. We'd like to take our favorite cosplay person with us. Can you give us an extra table in another room?
I would love to. I love collaborating with other people. Like I said, I'm mostly into artists, so
yeah, we can talk about that because we got some cons coming up that might be interesting. We'll talk in Chicago.
Sure, absolutely. We'll have a meeting. Oh, how
exciting! We're going to talk about Billy in Chicago since he's not there.
Talk shit about him.
All bad. We'll all be bad. Well, guys, you guys are fantastic.
Yes.
No, you're fantastic.
No, Billy, we are fantastic.
No, thank you. We're really honored that you guys came on. You guys were with us from the very beginning. You were our biggest supporters right from even before we started the show. And we asked you, and you guys came on, and you helped really this show grow substantially. And both of you guys were huge guests. We had great numbers, and we just really appreciate it. And it's great to have great friends.
Yeah.
All these years, you guys are amazing.
We're happy to be here for you, and a big shout out to Brian Blevins, my new buddy. Brian, we're gonna hang.
There you go. He's a good dude. He's a good dude too. If anyone needs a bodyguard, he's a lot of muscle.
Guy, Brian, even better.
There you go. So, Jimmy, thank you so much. Jennifer, thank you so much. We appreciate you spending the first half of the hour with us.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have you guys back on soon.
Absolutely.
For sure, definitely.
Take care, everybody.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you. All right, Billy. Now we're heading into hour 2. Looks like Clint Stoker is here. Clint, how we doing?
Hey, how's it going?
What up,
Fantastic, man.
I'm doing well. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you perfectly. Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I had to switch my audio stuff. Sometimes the kids do stuff on the same computer, so I'm glad it's working.
Well, we had someone say that my mic was driving them crazy. Is it just my voice, or is my mic bad?
It's just your voice, dude. It's bad for this. It's just bad.
It's the proximity effect, or the
it's like nails on a chalkboard, man.
It just looks weird when I have it so close to my face,
Yeah,
so.
that's how I do it.
I find if you just kind of hold it like this while you're talking.
If I hold like this?
Yeah, just hold it like this.
Like 2 of them.
No, well, that's if you want stereo, but since we're going for a mono effect, just like that. There you go. You got it. So, Clint, man, what's new? What's going on, brother?
I'm just at the end of my campaign, and so that's a good feeling. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know. I just want to celebrate that it's ending. So yeah, that's I think that's a big thing, and it's just preparing for the future. I don't know. There's like the pipeline of comics. I'm curious, like Billy, how you manage like the flow. You know what I mean? Like what's coming up next, kind of thing. For me, I'm so new to it. It's like I don't know. It's a grind.
You know what it is though? Like first of all, congratulations on all the success that you're having with Downcast. I don't know if we can show a link of it or something like that, but you're kicking ass with it, buddy. But what I'm doing is that because our stories are all sequential. Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing, buddy?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah,
perfectly.
Hey, Zach, this is Clint. Clint, this is Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Oh yeah, we've met.
I was messing with you guys.
Oh,
so pumped you guys can join us for this, man. This is great that you guys are here to help us celebrate our 100th. And we'll get back to what you guys are talking about, but I just want to say really quick, you know, we picked the people we wanted on the show because, you know, we very much enjoyed having you guys on. We enjoyed the conversation. We got great feedback, and you know, we wanted to continue those conversations and celebrating, you know, our 100th episode. So again, thank you guys for coming on.
Great, thanks for inviting me.
Oh, sorry. And I'll have in the morning. I'll have a whole slew of new roughs for you.
Oh, great! Yeah.
Once I get that approval, I'm gonna jump right on it all day tomorrow.
Awesome.
It better be good because that's the one I ordered, Billy. I got your cover.
Oh wow!
Wow, thank you, my friend.
No pressure.
No, I know, dude. This pressure. You got to see. I got all these roughs. I have
totally joking. I know it's gonna be good.
All these cover sketches I've been doing, and I'm just. Oh, you don't have to go.
I haven't seen those. I saw different
I know.
ones.
And I got a whole book here filled with them, and I'm just like, you know, it's you know, I love this project. I love the Expendables, so I love the opportunity to do it, and especially that you asked me to draw Audie Murphy. So just that I wanted to, you know, to get it right, but make it, you know, make it exciting, make it thrilling, make it violent, make it, you know, balls out. So it's no pressure. Especially since I was on Comic Artist Pro Secret, Zach, and I saw those amazing covers that you turned down, the roughs. So now the pressure's grown even more.
Well, so we talked for like on and off for like a month. We're like, okay, so Audie Murphy and Stallone, and then I get this really awesome layout of a devil girl.
I tried something new with the pinup of like, say they're in hell and there's a desert girl, like a devil girl with pistols, and she's got targets of all the Expendables around him, and Zach was so nice to say, hey man, that's a great layout, but it has nothing to do with the story. So I was like, roger that. So,
because these weren't roughs. I mean, I would call them for the woman, those were what, almost finished pencils.
yeah, well, you know, when you get in the flow, you know, you just keep doing it. And but you know, and where is the EVS?
I shot him a quick message. I know Samedi, he said he may be running a little late, so.
What about Ethan?
I just shot him a message. Just let him know we're good for him to pop
but
in.
Clint and Zach, I'm sure you could. Clint had asked before you came in, and if you heard it, about the flow from one project to the next, and you've done more than all of us. What I'm doing personally with the She books is that they're all pretty much a progression of the same storyline, the same character. So we're writing the Hotaro series already, and we're just going to go right into it. And the goal for that is to have the whole Hotaro book, you know, done before we even launch. You know, at least penciled and inked. You know, but you just got to keep with the same. You just got to keep going with it. Just keep feeding pages, keep writing, keep drawing it. And as you know, we all know. I mean, Zach, you know that it's a full-time job. And Clint, you've seen this, to promote the book. That's a full-time job.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah. For me, I'm like, I wish I could get 10 grand ahead of, you know what I mean? Like the campaigns have been great, but it's like, I need most of the money to make the book happen. And so I had a little bit more to invest into this next one, but I don't know. I'm like, I want to get ahead so that, you know, the turnaround time is faster, but
yeah,
it's rough. It's an undertaking.
Yeah. But the thing is though, is is even if you have to space it out and you launch your second one a month later, or 2 months later,
Yeah.
it's worth it. It really is worth it than to try to rush. I mean, we've seen these people doing Kickstarters back to back to back, and then, they never come out. We were talking about that the other day on EBS's show, that I paid for, they were Kickstarters at the time for like 4 or 5 years ago, and I haven't gotten them yet. Right now, you too, right? So you have a book or two, right? That you can't even forget about.
Yeah, no, I don't even know where they came from. Like, we did it and I backed it, and now I don't even know what it is. Like, I really don't even know anymore. It's been years.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything.
Well, that's how I remember the early days. It was kind of fire and forget, and then a year and a half later, you get something. Okay, cool. So I remember that being kind of shocking, especially with me and Ethan, because suddenly all the 10 years of rules were thrown out, and they're like, "Yo, you're 3 days late." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not." Nobody used to notice until it was 6 months. Like 6 months was the first time, like you'd get one comment saying, "Hey, what's up?" And now it's 3 days. So I mean, it reminds me of that thing where they say, it was some Japanese video game designer. He says, a late video game is eventually good, but a rush video game is always bad.
Yeah.
So there's, obviously you don't want to be 5 years late, but what if it was 5 years late and it was like one of those Barry Windsor Smith, 200-page albums? Like someone just grew so much in that time, I think you'd be happy. But yeah, I think the general like unwritten rule for 10 years was that 6 months was not late. A year is when really people would start to get like a little antsy. But now I would say it's dialed down to maybe 3 months people don't notice, and at 3 months people start to say, "What's up?"
Yeah.
But I got a question for you, Zach. Now, so we have all these creators, right, coming into crowdfunding and whatnot, and they don't know, like, if their book blows up, right? They don't know if they're going to get, like, the right backing because they have a great product and the thing's going to blow up. What do you have to prepare yourself for when you start hitting 6 figures and onward and onward and onward, to the numbers that, you've accomplished?
So I wanted to answer that in a second, but first, I had this thought earlier today, and it was with Billy and all of his success with She, and I was so happy, and I was like, I've never been a smoker, but I was in the military, and lots of people smoke. Have you ever seen someone trying to light a cigarette in the heavy wind?
Yes.
And it's not lighting, and it's not lighting, and it's not lighting, and it becomes like this, almost like a Rocky movie.
Yeah.
The more times it doesn't work, and then finally they like unbutton their shirt, they put it underneath. That's how I felt with Billy's She. It's like that he finally just lit it, and it's freaking beautiful.
I know, yeah. Well, Zach, let me ask you a question. I mean, I was terrified with She. I was terrified with Zombie Sama, and the cool thing now though is that with the She campaign, we're on the verge of doubling our total Zombie Sama numbers.
Yeah.
And that's from our second campaign. But I got to tell you, I was terrified. I really was wondering if people were going to go for it. And I didn't think it was going to get the success that it has. I mean, we're almost at 145 now. And so it's really incredible. But how do you feel that you've had, 5 or 6 super, super successful campaigns? Do you get nervous before you launch, like the Expendables book? How were you a few weeks ago on the verge? Because I mean, there's got to be that pressure now that you've got this movie franchise, you've got Sylvester Stallone, actively engaged in it. Now, how was that? Were you like, nervous? I mean, I know you're a Marine and everything like that.
So unfortunately, you really built it up for me to say I was nervous, but I wasn't.
Oh.
So I'm sorry. But that being said, I've got my next one, and I literally had to have a little talk with myself because it's my first sci-fi book, and it's from a really great like younger artist. But I was like, and I know this is a weird thing to say, it's like, I have to realize eventually I'm going to have something that's not going to do 6 figures. And it just made me think of like, movie stars, like they'll have, if you look at their IMDb, they'll make $400 million. You'll see Matthew McConaughey. He'll be in something that makes $300 million. His next movie makes $2 million. And you're up and you're down. So my main thing is I always want to do good, but I think there's, some kind of upper limits on some ideas and concepts, and others are just kind of limitless. But my main thing is, there's behind the hood. I want things to be more profitable, so things can go up or down. I'm fine as long as they get more profitable, under the hood for me. But I really just my main goal right now is what happened with God King, where people said your writing's better. I was like, whew, that because that was a major hit on Lost Souls. Everyone's like, oh, pages didn't fall out, and I was like, that hurts a lot. So it was like, get better at it. But one of the things that is because like I've been following Billy's. He's been doing what are you doing Kickstarters for like 8 years or so, on and off?
I only did. This is my second one. Well, we did one for that World War II paratrooper hoodie. That was our first one in 2018, and that was because this Chinese company started making posters and hoodies off of my art. They just grabbed it off of Facebook or something like that. And then I, went to our lawyer, and they said, well, the best way to protect that copyright from an apparel company is to become one yourself. So we decided to make our own hoodies, and we did that. That was my first one. That's 2.5 years ago. Then I
thought you did a Christmas one like a long time ago.
We did a Christmas one for the Child Is Born hardcover, and it was going slow, and my two partners panicked, and they ended it after like 4 or 5 days. So we never fulfilled it. We ended up making the book anyway, but we didn't do the crowdfunding thing because we didn't know what we were doing with it.
Well, the thing about those early days is like things used to super flop, and now almost everything does kind of good. Yeah. I see some people getting angry. They're like, I made $10,000. That's like 3 times what was considered success 3 years ago.
Sure.
People used to make 3,000. They go, whoa, wow.
Yeah.
So I remember the first time I saw someone make 20,000, I thought the guy would never have to work again for the rest of his life. It's just really impressive. But yeah, for the 6 figures, it's definitely a goal for mine. It would definitely be embarrassed, and I'm motivated by not wanting to be embarrassed about slipping or failing. I was at the comic store buying this week's comics, and one of the things that just always blows my mind is when someone gets handed these amazing characters, they flame the hell out. They just seem fine with it. Yeah. My series got canceled. I was like, I would like go join the Peace Corps and just disappear for like 5 years. It would be I just feel so awful. So yeah, I'm definitely motivated by success, improvement, but I would say also really just getting better reactions from customers about customer service and satisfaction in my writing specifically.
Yeah. Well, firstly, hello, Peter Cimetti. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
The big kahuna at Alterna Comics. Yeah. The man that's paving his own path.
And for Clint, man, for those that don't know, I mean, you and Peter, what do you have going on?
Yeah, nothing. What are we doing? Nothing. What is this?
We got a deal. Yeah, some people pretend it's a secret, but it's not. Yeah, it's cool because this is, to me, it's kind of pioneering a new angle. I don't know if it's pioneering, but for me, it feels really new. But having crowdfunding combined with having a publisher, and they're 2 different kinds of books and a different market. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. So
yeah, I can't wait to get Downcast out there as a part of the Alterna lineup coming out in October, and then on a bi-monthly schedule. So issue 2 December, and then in 2021 February issue 3, April issue 4. And I can't even believe when I say 2021. I don't even want to think about next week.
I know. Now, Peter, can you talk about Alterna distribution? Give people that might not know about it what you're working on with that.
Alterna distribution, yeah, that got delayed a bit because of all the printer problems we had back in November and December. So I'm kind of adjusting the timeline of that a bit. I'm thinking maybe an early 2021 launch, and then start evaluating books and product submissions maybe in the summer around June or so.
Nice. Now, how many books are you publishing now? How many books is Alterna published now?
Let me see. At this point, currently the ones that are active, I think we've got about maybe, I'd say 15 or 16 titles in the mix.
Wow.
And then, and they alternate, because it's bi-monthly schedules, except for ICYMI is monthly, which is just kind of like a catch-up type reprint series. And then the Giants too are going to be monthly this year. But overall, since we've started, if I'm talking about graphic novels 14 years ago, man, over 150 at this point.
Wow.
Do you have employees, or is it all you?
It's me, brother.
Jeez.
For those that don't know,
gosh.
too, Rich is actually on Fubar Volume 2 from back in the day.
Yeah, I was just
Way back
bringing
in
that
the
up
day.
because I was bringing up how people like to say New York Times bestseller. I was like, I was on the New York Times bestseller for 1 week.
I still don't know how we got there.
It was kind
list.
of like a shifting of the tides thing, and all of a sudden we were there, and I took a million screenshots, and then next week we weren't. But it was for 1 week.
I swear it's a mistake, but I'll take it.
You are now a New York Times best-selling author.
Oh yeah, I have been for like 8 years or so.
Yeah.
They had this subcategory that had a really wonky name. It wasn't comics and graphic novels. It was like
it's
graphic books and something else,
which
It was
sounds
weird.
very dirty.
Yeah.
Graphic books.
Well, also it just
Graphic books
sounds
and
like it was
picture
translated in and out of like 5 languages. It's like, who says graphic books? You say graphic novels or comic books. But then I think it was graphic books and then it was something after the and. I was like, and then they got rid of that category like the next year, maybe because we got into it. They're just like, if these guys are going to get into the top 10.
It felt always, no matter who was on there, it felt like the kiddie table. It felt kind of like okay, we'll let you there. Pat you on the head. You're on the New York Times bestsellers list, because there's no way in hell it would ever, you'd see a comic book on the actual list. So many things have come out at this point that you can kind of game the system and all this other crazy stuff, and it's kind of delegitimized the list a bit.
Yes. Well, yeah, but even especially with creator-owned books, with independent books.
Oh, it was huge, and we were really thrilled about it.
You know what I mean? Year one or something like that, and that becomes it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's quite the accomplishment. So well done, boys. Well done.
Indeed.
So before Zach, we were talking about the numbers. And I remember you had a show, one of your shows, and you were talking about people that, remember you were saying that somebody would hit 20,000 for a crowdfunding campaign. And you're like, wow, he's set for the whole year. He's set for life. Then the reality comes in that, and a lot of those books that don't get fulfilled maybe are in and around that number. You know what I mean? That you never see them, because it is a lot more expensive than people think it is to put out these books, right?
Oh yeah, there's still to these days, you go down there because you have to do the wire transfer, and you just look at it and you go, oh my god, it's just shocking to see it like on this thing, and they're like, do you want to send this much? It's like, well, technically I don't, but that's the invoice. But I actually had to because I was starting the new one, so Indiegogos, they're like, oh, we need evidence you fulfilled the last one, and I just sent them a picture of a gigantic check, and they go, oh yeah, no, that's good, cool. But yeah, I remember it was B. Clay Moore got 20,000, and I was shocked, and then Mark Andrew Smith, he got 100,000 for this thing called Sullivan Sluggers.
Yeah, I remember.
And that was so shocking. That was like 2012 or so, but then he ran into fulfillment because, again, he didn't know it. He ran past the next year, and then he had to do a second one for postage because he was doing all this international. And even I'm running into the whole international problem because some of those things, they just disappear. People say, can you track it? I was like, I can track it to the East Coast, and it's kind of gone after that.
Yeah, and it's so expensive too. And you know, we had shipped someone. Debbie had made a mistake in the shipping, and it cost the person something like $268 to pick it up at the post office in Italy. You know, and he's like, wait a minute, but I only ordered $25 book or something like that. And we're like, don't do it. And it had to come back to us, and we had to redo it all over again. But that costs us a lot of money.
Yeah, it's and the other thing I've been doing is, and I've gotten some pushback, and this stuff is always evolving, but with foreign backers, if they have an issue, no pun intended, I've just been doing refunds, because what I found is when I sent a replacement, the replacement also didn't get there. So it feels like it's a certain mix of customs officials and post people. And so, but then they'll get the next book 3 months later, where it's probably a different mix of people. So that's what I've been doing lately.
This is something, speaking of shipping, this is something we got in the mail a couple weeks ago. This is like something a hostage will send a family member to have proof that they have the box. The post office was kind enough to cut off the top of the box with the label and then tell me how much they care. They don't care enough to give me what was in the box, which was about 30 graphic novels from our distribution, our graphic novel distributor. But, you know, they care, though.
They left severed fingers in there instead.
Yeah.
Ethan, that's a lovely comb.
EVS, look at you. You look like you talk like this.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Evening.
My friend, good to see you, buddy. It's been too long. Too long.
Yes, I know. It's 27 minutes late.
Oh, that's quite all right. That's quite all right.
Andrew woke me up and said, "Get down there and get on that show." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, let's go, let's go." I almost slept through it. I woke up really, really early this morning. Got to work. Hello, everyone. Hello, Peter. Hello, Zach. Hi,
Hello.
Clint.
Hey, Ethan.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
So now, are you awake for the night? Are you going to work tonight? What's your plan for tonight?
I'm here for this show. I'm here for Nile. I'm here for Billy. I'm here for Peter. I'm here for Dracula. And I'm here for Zach, and that's it. Then I'm going back to bed. I'll watch Leave It to Beaver and go to sleep. That's what it's all about. So anyway, I'm sorry to jump in. What's the topic?
No, the topic. Well, we were just talking shit about you for the past half hour.
That's what you eating? YouTube is.
What are you
gum. Gum. I just took a stick of gum and put it in my mouth.
Nice. Niles got the Nicorette. He's got his 3 nicotine patches on his back. Don't seem to be working too well.
Yeah.
He's got
Nile chews gum on camera too. That's a bad habit. We shouldn't do that. That's a no-no for YouTube.
Nile chews with his mouth open though.
Oh yeah.
Do I chew with my mouth open?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Like that.
No shit. And then I pretend to cough, and then that means I'm going to get a new piece.
We have 3 of our guests right now have live campaigns, and they're all tearing it up.
Yeah. Ethan, what do you got going on? Well, I know, but explain it for anyone that's out there watching that doesn't.
Cyberfrog, Unforgettable Tales, Volumes 1 and 2, live now on Indiegogo. Representing in color and relettered for the first time, Hall of Heroes, Cyberfrog number 1 and 2 from the early 90s. These books are impossible to get now on eBay or even anywhere. The print runs were so low. These incredibly in-demand books are being colored by the great Kyle Ritter, relettered by the incredible Eric Weathers, and offered to you for the first time. And we're thinking about that, Billy. I found 3 pages that were cut from Cyberfrog number 1 in 1994. We're thinking about including those.
No shit.
You have to.
An extended edition.
Where did you find those pages? Were they in like a flat file of yours? Did you sell them? How did you find these pages? Because I can't believe you have all the art to begin with.
Well, in a volcano.
Nice. Ethan versus the volcano. I love it.
Likely story.
Yeah.
Likely. Now, Ethan, with that book, with Unforgettable Tales, was the lettering hand lettered originally, or was it computer lettered too? The original.
There wasn't well, I mean, if there was computer lettering back then, nobody was really using it. I hand lettered it because I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh,
I drew the pages. The original art was actual size. Like I traced a comic book on a sheet of drawing paper and said, well, these dimensions are correct. How could they not be? And then drew the actual, pages to that size and hand lettered myself. It's awful lettering, but it is what it is. It's a relic. It's amazing though to see these pages kind of come to life once Eric Weathers, puts his changes the lettering, fixes the word balloons, fixes the fonts, and watching Kyle Ritter save my ass in the present. It's nice to see him go back to the past and save my ass in the year 1993 or 94.
And you're killing him. You're trying to kill him.
So he's like your Terminator.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is he? Yeah, he's like, come with me if you want to live to my to my 20-year-old self.
Did he appear naked in like an electric bubble? That's how you know
about that. That was
like almost with like Vaseline smeared all over him and gooey stuff.
Part of the process.
Nice 12-pack.
Now you guys have worked a lot together, you and Kyle. And I think I saw that you've never met him in person yet, or you have?
No, I haven't met him in person yet. Kyle, oh no, I have. No, I met him in person. Of course I have. Let me strike that. Or in Orlando and Megacon a few times. Kyle came up and met me. He's a hell of a guy. Nice guy.
He's a hell of a talented guy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you better believe it. One of the best. And thank God that he is shut up, you. Yeah, Kyle's extraordinary. Thank God that he's out there. We have talented people like that. Kyle's a better, believe it or not, he's a better penciler than he is colorist, which is really saying something.
He drew his book, right? Did he penciled his book?
Yeah. He penciled and inked it. I think he inked his own work there. I think he did. Or does he know an inker? Kyle, you're gonna have to kind of correct me on that. I think it's his own pencils and inks, though. Yeah.
I think something must be done about Kyle Ritter.
Really?
He's got too talented, too much going on.
Very talented guy.
Yeah, we're having meetings about how to solve the Kyle Ritter problem.
Yes,
you'll be invited.
Thank you, please. I want to be in on it because I'm very curious about the whole thing.
Yeah, Eric Weathers too, man. You guys are flooding them with work. It's fantastic.
It's the first time I've hired Eric. Normally I use Somni letters. Somni really takes his time, and I'm saving Somni for Wrecked Planet and for Rainbow Brute. This is just kind of a relettering job, and Eric is the kind of guy he's efficient. It took him a little while to get the Cyberfrog lettering font down, but he did it himself. He did it he did a great job. So having two great letterers is great for Comicsgate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Zach, who is coloring the Expendables book?
Oh, so we've got Dan Brown is doing the main story, and then he might be doing the side quests as well.
Because those pages, I mean, man, they look amazing.
Yeah, I really love. I've never worked with. I mean, I'm new. I've only worked with like 3 colors so far, but he has like a different style. It almost it looks like painted with real paints, and I really love it.
Yeah, I think, and thank you for that. I'm privy to the pages via the Dropbox.
Oh yeah, I was just
change to the Dropbox every day, and then I get more nervous about my cover because Ethan, we were talking that Ethan, you showed me whether some of the rejected covers that Zach rejected, the roughs.
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
Oh my God, this looks
Kelsey Shannon is. You want to talk about talented artists and creators? Kelsey Shannon, even the stuff that doesn't get used, is better than 95% of the industry. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Ethan's like, now Billy, how are your roughs comparing to this? And I'm like, oh.
You can steal one of his.
It's just like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Your roughs are pretty detailed, though, man.
I think they're very rough.
I don't know. They're pretty detailed for roughs. I think, in my opinion. But what do I know? What do I know?
What do you
I'll tell you what TJ wants to know. TJ wants to know, hey, Peter, how is the deal with Sheets going?
Yeah, I just actually responded in the chat. I said we had pulled out of Newsstand. I had a whole recap video that covers it. It was a less than pleasant experience. I'd actually rather work with Diamond than work with our Newsstand distributor.
I agree with that because, Newsstand is all returnables too, right?
Well, it's not just that. It was because a lot of inaccuracies were going on. Like we would send them 1,200 issues, let's say, and then we get the report. And it says 1,300 returned.
Oh.
How's that possible?
Yeah.
And, they go, well, maybe they're misscanning. I go, 100 more that weren't even there are now returned back to us. And they tab up on what we owe. So we would end up getting less than the cost of shipping to get books to Newsstand. And then eventually it was not even that. So it just made no sense to get them there. And the footprint too with Newsstand kept shrinking month by month. Barnes & Noble, when we started out, we were in about 80% of them. By the end of it, we were in about 25% of them because the stores kept cutting back on periodicals. And then Books A Million, we were in about almost every single one. And then at the end, we were about half of them. And Sheets was a deal that we had kind of established on our own, and it went well. But the sell-through numbers weren't correlating with what we were getting paid. And it would be the return timetable didn't make any sense. It seemed like these things could be returned for forever. Meanwhile, the return window on the contract was just specifically a 3-month return window. And after that, it was kind of the retailer ate that if they didn't return the issue. But we would see returns that were over a year old, and they would register on the invoice, and we would have to owe that, and it would come out of our sales. It just made no sense.
How long? Like, when did they pay you? Did they pay you?
They paid monthly, but eventually after the first year, it became every 3 months. And then it became when I bothered them with an email, which is never a good sign. And
ended up owing them money.
And to tell you guys this, right? We dropped out and terminated the agreement at the end of November. It's almost the end of February. I haven't heard from them yet. So I'm guessing it's terminated. But that's Newsstand for you. It's kind of a mess, and it's mostly because we were one of the only publishers on there in terms of comic publisher. So we can only do so much, and they're only going to listen to us so much. If every single publisher had a book or two on Newsstand when we got into there, it would have been a different scenario. Right. And you would have had a lot more people obviously going to these stores, and then you want to find back issues, you go to the comic shop. And that's kind of how the whole industry was and how it flourished. But you can't, we're so small. I'm aware that we can't just bring in thousands upon thousands of people to go to a newsstand to find Alterna. But we did have some really great experiences with a story from someone that said they found them at Rockefeller Center. And they talked to the vendor and said that it was a joy seeing the kids really enjoy the all ages books that we had there. And, it was stuff like that we wanted to still be in the space for those reasons. But at the same time, it was going to kill the company eventually.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, and I keep seeing some stuff in it. What's the quartering? Is that another show?
Yeah, it's another YouTube channel.
Oh, the guys are I keep seeing just comments that they're.
Is that your show, Ethan?
No. That they're talking about Comicsgate or something.
I don't want to talk about other shows on my show. This is my damn show. Your show.
I don't know. I just keep seeing a lot of comments in the chat, so I was just asking what it is. I don't know. I don't know what the quartering is, bro. I only focus on crowdfunding comics in my friends' shows. That's what I do. Jesus.
And this is their 100th show. Celebrate it.
Our freaking 100th show, and we got our friends on the show because they've been supporting us, and they come on, and we like it, and we're independent creators, and we're having a good freaking time doing it. And that's it, Billy. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Let's chew some freaking gum. Zach, are you there with me?
Clint, how much more time do you have left to your campaign?
Or like 2 days, I think.
2 days.
2 days, yeah.
Where are we at?
We're at 28,230. So already I've passed the first campaign. like dollar amount wise at the end. It gets a little confusing with in demand, but it ended at like 26,000 for the main 30-day campaign on the last one. So we're already at 28 and 2 days left to go. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's been good.
Well, you should definitely hit 30 grand by the end of the campaign, and then you have your in demand.
Yep.
I mean, our in demand, I think, and thank you for EVS for allowing me to come on your show. That kickstarted it off again, even though I was on your show when it launched. But where I think our in demand is something like, I think like $14,000 in just in demand in whatever this 5-6 weeks that it's been in demand. Crazy.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
It's great. And, you know, and I'm not really pushing it and promoting it like you do when the campaign's live, but, you know, you just keep sending it, you know, you send out updates. And here's another thing I think we should all do, boys, is that in our updates, I think we should start sharing each other's campaigns and say, hey, by the way, you know, here we are, we're you know, to an update. We're in demand right now, but our friend Clint Stoker has a campaign right now. If you'd like to check it out or at least share it, please do it. And I think if that's something that we all end up doing, I think that can really help everybody.
You heard Billy. Everyone has to do that now.
Everyone.
You are held accountable. So yeah.
Zach's like, I'm not doing that.
No, he's the first one to forget to do it.
No, like it's been great with YouTube because like Zach has he's mentioned my book several times. You know, I don't know, several times in videos. That's been great. Ethan has helped me out a ton with promoting my book. So has Peter. It's just cool, like being able to. I don't know. The internet's amazing. You can really connect with people, and I don't know. It's weird because in Utah, it's like there's not a big comic community out here. I'm kind of like, I feel like a lone weirdo out here, but it's cool because I you know, can find my people online. It's great.
Yeah. Now, Ethan, like, and you know, even like Zach too. I mean, you guys have been doing this for a long time now. I mean, how long have you, Ethan? How long have you been doing your channel? How long have you been on YouTube?
I've been on YouTube since November of 2017. I was watching what Zach was doing, and you know, I like the idea of being able to answer. It seemed like the best social media platform, and this was at the height of Comicsgate, at the height of, you know, the fight that SJWs were having with conservatives and comics. And I just wanted to make a channel so that I could say, hey, this is who I actually am as these people try to cancel me. That was the purpose of the channel. And initially it started off, I mean, that was my incentive for making the channel. Initially it started off as like a drawing channel. I didn't know really what to do. I kind of aped what Zach was doing. And at the same time, I knew I could do drawing shows. I could teach people how to draw. And did that for a little while. Yeah, YouTube is just the best. You know, I don't know why anybody uses anything else. YouTube actually pays you to do what you were doing on Twitter, and it's more fun. I think YouTube is just a blast.
And Zach's a huge Twitter fan, right, Zach?
Oh God, no. But YouTube's excellent. One of the things I'm always confused by, although I kind of know why, is that, you know, if the people who don't like us, why don't they start their own channels? And I think it's just like you said, like it feels very backwards to not be into YouTube. It's like the premier platform. Geez, I just watch videos all day long.
Yeah.
Get recommended, and it was the best. I have 2 channels I like. One of them reviewed episodes 2 and 3 of a series, and then the other one did 4, and it just recommended that right in a row. 2 completely different channels.
Yeah, I remember, Ethan, when you and I we were talking not long after you started your channel. I think you might have had 5,000 subscribers or something. And we were talking about Zach. We were talking about his channel and how how he was paving the way for this new way to communicate with people. And this is when you were going through you were getting a lot of shit from DC and things like that. And we were at a convention in Daytona Beach. Remember somebody wanted to kill you, and then we did the store signing, and then they destroyed the pizza parlor that night.
Yeah. That was the same. That was the same truck.
Morning, you know, like Luca Brasi, you know, sleeps with the fishes type of moment. But I appreciate you having me on because I had the copy of The Way of the Warrior #1. Remember that? And you had your phone, and we went through the whole entire book. And it was the first time I looked at that book in years. I remember that, and we were just going through. And like, oh my god, I remember when I did that panel, and that was cool. So thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for doing that. I mean, that was a fun thing to do early on. The other thing I wanted to do was take a comic book that a creative team had worked on and go through it with them and do secret commentary, called a secret commentary video. So having you just go through the book and create a document, and that video is still available on my channel, of what you were thinking at the time, panel by panel, talking to an artist about their influence, their inspiration for every single panel, was cool. It was fun, and that's the other thing I wanted to do with my channel early on was just create the ideal perfect video interviews with comic book pros. And so I've got one of Dan Slott, and I've got a very strange one of Mark Waid. I was a little misguided early on. I had this. It's funny. It's like the people who wanted to be interviewed were people who were like trying to kill Comicsgate early on. Those guys wanted to be interviewed first on my channel. But like it was fun. The idea, and I want to do more of this, actually, the secret commentary thing, where you could just sit down with comic skaters and say, let's go through your book now, and let's talk about, what influenced Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb. Let's talk about what influenced Jawbreakers, Lost Souls, panel by panel. Should be cool.
Awesome. And you also I've been seeing, on Twitter, about and I've even made some comments about the convention, possibly putting on a convention. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, like I think conventions are embarrassing. I think they're dead. I think they're for the most part they're a waste of people's time when we have if the point is to communicate with large numbers of people and meet fans and talk to fans, that's what YouTube does. If the point is to sell things to fans, there's no better way to do that than YouTube and Indiegogo. So aside from actually pressing the flesh, which in some cases might be dangerous these days, conventions just seem to be kind of dead. Now I've expressed that view, and I listened to my subscribers, and they said no, wrong. We want to actually do a meetup. So I've been arranging a convention. We're actually going to have some more information on that within 2 weeks. We're going to actually have a place. We're going to have a spot nailed down. But I've been arranging a convention for next year, for May of 2021. Wow. It'll be small, but it'll be Comicsgate. It'll be people who are kind of into the culture that we're into. Comicsgate, Fandom Menace, Weebors, and we are going to put on a meet and greet kind of convention. We're gonna do this through crowdfunding. We're gonna crowdfund tickets, so we'll know exactly how many people are coming and how big the venue should be, and all of that. We'll know how much money we have to spend, and it should be pretty fun. And we'll just expect it to be small. I'm told, look, just expect 500 people, and 500 people would be a very small show. Me talking about this show has indicated that it's going to be much bigger than 500 people are going to come, much bigger than that. But we'll see, and we'll adjust the plans for it as we go. But yeah, a big convention for Comicsgate, for the Fandom Menace, and for Weebors next year in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, very nice. Now, let me ask you a question. As having your own channel with over 130,000 subscribers, how do you even gauge we'll probably expect 500?
I think that's just the thinking of people who have put on conventions before. It's like these small conventions, especially startup conventions. You don't know how well they're going to do, but you're hoping for, if you rent a ballroom in a hotel somewhere in Orlando, you're 500 people that through the door. That's pretty good. So we want to keep our expectations low and adjust them as we go. We don't want to say we're expecting 25,000 people and then get 500 people. So we're expecting 500, and we'll see what happens.
Nice. Very cool.
Now, is it going to have dealers too, or is it just going to be a creative?
That'll be
200-watt studio, guys. Pretty funny, huh?
I know, he really is.
If EVS loses weight, the venue will be smaller. You've lost some weight, right? Haven't you? Haven't you been doing?
I'm sure I found it again. Yeah, the venue's just going to be a small hotel right now, but we'll see. I mean, like I said, when we start crowdfunding and offering the tickets and all the different packages and things, we'll see if maybe we need a bigger space. We'll see.
That's cool. And you're going to allow, like YouTube, like shows like Crowdfunding Comics, right? Like, are you looking to have spaces for, shows to come in and be able to do their interviews and do things?
Yeah, ideally. We're going to ask some very brave retailers if they want to be vendors. And there are quite a few who have already said, fuck it, we'll do it. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
That's cool. We'll have some vendors there. But mostly, it is going to be. It's meant to be. It's meant to be a meet and greet. The ideal situation, as far as I'm concerned, is look. We'll have 2 rooms, and one will be a room for people like you. Crowdfunding Comics will have a table. You guys can maybe broadcast rather than doing boring ass panel discussions, forced panels like they usually do in cons. Let's just do live streams. From the YouTubers of this community, and then we'll have a whole other room which is going to be Artist Alley, just an endless sea of Artist Alley, free tables on a first come first served basis. So if you're a creator who can prove that you have books published, we want you to tell us that you're going to be there. You'll have your own table, and that you'll be able to sell your whatever you want, your merch, your books. It should be fun. I mean, again, the show's going to be all paid for before we even open the doors, which I think puts us in a unique position.
Oh, very cool, man. It'd be cool to see as you guys come up, release that news in 2 weeks or so. You were saying, see what you guys are getting at. Really cool.
We'll leak new news out, whenever we've got it. But yeah, I'm told in 2 weeks we'll have a venue idea.
Very cool.
A lot of people get past all that garbage. It seems to be subsiding. A lot of the fragmentation of comics. I think people are getting tired of that. And I'm talking the fandom. I think they really care about a lot of that. There may be some inter-company arguments, inter-creator arguments, things like that, or disagreements, or they don't like each other. I think the fans are kind of tired, and I really don't think retailers are even aware of any of that. I don't think a lot of the comic fans are aware of it too. I think it's more of a creator thing, I really do. I think there's more of a creators have problems, because I remember people came to me, start talking to me. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And it seems like a lot of the creators seem to be really into this, and the fans really don't care. The fans just want great comics.
What do you think, Zach?
About the retailers not knowing about it?
Yeah.
I hear reports all over the place. I mean, sadly enough, I kind of see retailers as, I don't know, like people who, like, I don't know, when you change from the carriages to the automobiles, like I honestly feel like the whole direct market collapses this year. So it's almost like a moot point to me.
Wow. I don't know if it'll collapse, but I mean, with what you guys are all doing, I mean, your market is crowdfunding. You're your own distributors. Doing your stuff. I mean, to me, I would think your secondary sales would be, all right, this book's done really good. While I'm working on this stuff and hyping it up and making it special to all the backers out there, I guess you could take some stuff that you've had and, break it out a certain way, and you could distribute it at that point, right? Kind of let it secondary funds coming in through that way.
Are you talking about the convention or other places?
Well, I was talking about the comic book market. It's like, you do the crowdfunding and stuff like that, as far as distribution is concerned, right? As you guys are creating books, right? We'll use like Peter, for example, right? So Clint has a new book coming out. So in the meantime, his other books, if he does his distribution, he can then kind of break those books down. Say it was a graphic novel, you could break it down into like 4 issues or something and just have it like a secondary market for yourself, right? And try to get your books into stores.
And it's just found money though, then too.
That's all it is. Your book's already paid for and everything.
Yeah, I think with that too, I think a lot of publishers need to start being more proactive with scouting for books through crowdfunders. with actually wanting to take risks creatively, and also looking at creative teams and going, okay, well, are they delivering a really good product and they're good with their readers? Is there engagement there? And then assessing signing on projects accordingly. Right now, I mean, and I think every one of us has said this before to some extent, if it keeps going the way it's going, it's not going to be in a good place. The comic industry is very much the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the product is being bought by 20% of the stores. So we're looking at, that's about 400 to 500 stores if we get down to it.
Yeah.
If we lose 1,000 shops, I mean, honestly, the comic industry won't crumble, but it's going to hurt a hell of a lot. And it's going to affect a lot of different companies along the way. I think, what point do we reach critical mass in terms of it being past the point of no return? I don't really know. That's kind of, we keep pushing the goalpost back on that every single year. And I think it's more because comics is such a passion industry. People will literally lose money to make a comic book.
Yeah.
Time and time and time again.
Yep.
So we need to get rid of the defeatism in comics, but that has to be a whole entire, everyone has to kind of wake up a bit and go, you know what? I'm tired of just saying, well, I made a comic and it's in a comic shop and that's good enough. Now, let's get people reading it. Let's actually make some damn money and make a living out of doing this, and work your butt off and make sure that people are out there and they're aware of it. And you're getting people to actually not just go, oh, hey, yeah, it's great you made a comic. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to buy it, but I like that you did it. We need more people that are actually, into it and engaging with those people, and not turning them away, not disparaging fans or castigating anyone. Or if someone comes to you and says your book sucks, go, hey, thanks for reading. Hope you enjoy the next one, maybe a little bit more. Hope you're liking something else out there. Well, there's no reason to attack and go, full tilt to the nines on it, because people focus so much on maybe the one person that says, oh, your book sucks. And then there's 100 other people that say how much they love it. Yeah. And they could care less about the 100 other people that love it. But they're going to focus and harp on the one person and quote tweet them and go crazy and, launch into it and feel all good about that. But we need less of that in the industry overall.
Yeah. Well, and another thing I think that people should recognize, this whole thing that we're doing now with the crowdfunding, is that unless you're someone like we had Jimmy on before, unless you're like Jimmy or Scott Snyder or, Greg Capullo, you know what I mean? Unless you're these big names like that with these big exclusive deals, Sean Gordon Murphy, people like that, people just doing regular comics, doing the everyday, say a middle of the road DC comic, they're not making a lot of money. The most successful comic creators out there right now are independent creators going through crowdfunding, by far and away, right? I mean, if you just put your book into the comic shops, or Zach, if you had just done, your book through that publisher, right, and you went through Diamond like you originally wanted to, do you think you'd be where you are right now, putting out a franchise comic with Sylvester Stallone? Zach, there?
I'm there. I'm sorry for being a downer. I was super positive last time, but things. I mean, I've been tracking these sales figures every month for the last 3 years, and it's just like I said, it's almost a moot point. Yeah. My deal was to get published and be in stores in 2018, but now it's 2020. I just went to the comic store today, and it was rough. It was rough. But then when I think about crowdfunding, even just as a comic book reader, that's where all my excitement is. Like, Narwhal's got a book that I don't even know when it comes out. I just bought it. I didn't care. It's like, this is the most electrifying creator out there in comics right now. And seeing Sweetcast do better on his second one, I believe much better on his second one. This is incredible. I mean, we capture. I feel like crowdfunding has captured all of the excitement. It's not that it sucked it out of the direct market. It's that it was just wafting out of the direct market, and then we just grab it. I mean, it was just going to go away in the breeze.
Yeah.
Luckily, a whole bunch of different things came together. But I honestly just see stores as the past. To me, it's all about. I always go back to Brian Polito, who I believe he just launched one today.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah, he did. He's already
at like 120,000 or something.
Yeah, he's been launched for like 3 hours.
And then did you see the IDW? IDW has lost millions of dollars trying to buy their way into Hollywood. They put out a tabletop game. What was it, yesterday? And they made $350,000 in 1 hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crowdfunding because it's Batman the Animated Series.
Well, I mean, it's their gaming division's always been good, even through all their other problems. But I mean, it's this is like the promised land. You know, you want to talk to someone, you want to promote someone, you just do it. You want to sell something, here's a link, your PayPal, and it's and it's off to the person. It's like it's so ideal that I just go to stores to buy stuff to review, which then I promote my other things while reviewing them. But
and you got to stop torturing your audience there, buddy. You got to start talking about Alterna a little more.
There you go.
Oh yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, my stores.
And you know what? If you don't like it, that's fine too. Talk about it as well.
Unfortunately, my stores down here, they don't carry it. They're very conservative because
order direct. Order direct.
Yeah.
Can I make one point here too? And that's
no.
Okay. Here we go. So like with me getting into this, like I really viewed this as me breaking into comics. I don't have, I am nobody, except for the 11th cousin to Bram Stoker. But besides that, I don't have any name recognition, in comics. And so it's been kind of an interesting thing for me to deal with. I've got a very small YouTube channel. And so for me, I see like working with Alterna as sort of some synergy, even if Alterna wasn't in the direct market. And Peter, you have to correct me on all the numbers and everything, but I know he's doing a lot of direct sale. Like he's selling elsewhere as well. And he has, more audience. And so to me,
we make more money every month direct sales than we do through distribution at this point for about, I'd say almost 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Well, what's scary about the distribution is that I contacted Diamond that I wanted to order a couple of dozen of their Sergeant Rock, the Lost Battalion 10th anniversary comic they did, the graphic novel. And now DC they had contacted me back in the summer that they're going to do this book. That was the last I heard of them. I didn't know when the book was coming out. I didn't know that I didn't find out the book was being solicited until someone told me that it was in previews. Well, there was no interviews, nothing like that. There was no push, no nothing. And this book was a huge seller. It was nominated. It won the Military Writers Society of America the gold medal. And no one heard of it. They had no orders, and they canceled the book. They canceled it. So now I'm looking for an alternative. I actually want to say, how much would it cost if I bought 1,000 of these books myself and buy them directly from DC? And that's
have they been printed?
I don't think they printed them. If they canceled it, whatchamacallit said it was canceled.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that this year from DC. A lot of graphic novels and trade paperbacks being canceled. Canceled before it was even so it's not coming out, I guess. So I want to contact DC Comics directly and say I want to buy 1,000 of these books, and then maybe I'll crowdfund them and make it. I'll buy the only print run, and then I'll sell them through Indiegogo. I'll make them a signed edition. I'll do a print or something like that, and I will crowdfund a DC comic and be the first one to do it.
Yeah, go for it. Try it.
George, why not?
Do it. Why not?
It's gonna happen, right? Like I expect that kind of thing to start happening.
So why not be the first?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for. Is Ethan still here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here.
So, and another thing is that, like the whole thing with the direct market, is that unfortunately you don't need it. You don't need to do them, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
You have a crowd. We now have built-in audiences that'll support us, and if we deliver on these books and get them out, and you stay in touch with them, you know what I mean? And you stay in touch, you give them updates, blah, blah, blah. You stay in contact with these people because it is like Peter was saying, the majority of his sales are direct buys.
And to readers and retailers, not just readers.
Oh,
We got a bunch of retailers that order direct from us. Yeah.
So then that's now, Ethan, have you had contact with any retailers to actually buy maybe, packages, like bulk copies of Cyberfrog? Have you done anything like that?
Well, I mean, yes, recently, some retailers have got in touch with me about doing something close to micro distribution.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, what they're telling me is that about 10% of retailers represent 90% of indie comics distribution. And that's about four retailers per state. And, if we could get those people involved in just buying direct, we could form a little mini indie distribution network outside of Diamond. Now, okay. I mean, like if anybody can get, I want people to read Cyberfrog. I look at it that way. I want to put those comics where people can find them. I'm not sure if we need to go backwards to the comic store model. I think that those comic stores, I think it's antiquated. I think like conventions, they're on the way out, but people psychologically see that as a measure of success. If you want to be in comic stores, then I guess if you're not in comic stores, you're not where the action is. I disagree. I really think that, right now we've got lightning in a bottle with our direct to consumer model. We're not sharing money with two other gigantic entities who are carving up the profits for our comics. We're keeping it all. And, it's a little bit more work. It only allows us to do 1 or 2, possibly 3 projects a year, especially if we're going to fulfill them ourselves. But we're making way more money this way. And there's a personal touch, a personal interaction that I think can't be bought in the direct market. Still, should we do it? I mean, I talked to Zach about it. I talked to others, and maybe, I don't know. Do I sound enthusiastic about it? Maybe we'll do
it. Maybe.
I'm curious too when, like, let's say when you have a big body of work of Cyberfrog or something, do you see like Amazon or your own web store or something like that to sell all those, just to make it available? Or I don't know if you've thought about this. I'm just starting to kind of think down the road a little bit more for myself, and I'm not sure what the answers are.
Yeah, like I love the idea of doing an actual store, whether it's on eBay or just making a website where all of the extra leftover material is available all the time rather than running a campaign. Still, there's something about Indiegogo campaigns that people, I think, uniquely enjoy because people like watching that number. People like watching to see how successful something is, and they enjoy it. I don't know. Yeah, I've got my wife home right now who is managing shipping. She's learning how to use the stamps.com thing. She's managing addresses. And she's becoming more and more confident that we could probably do fulfillment entirely by ourselves. And that's for a big campaign. What about just for a day-to-day individual purchases through a store? There's no limit to the amount of money a creator can make if they have the right property. I don't know that we need to backpedal towards the direct market, but again, Clint, I mean, there are people there who are going to find your books that might not find it on Indiegogo.
Yeah, and for me, it's like it really is about I'm trying to build a name. Like I wish like I had like I don't know. I'm just building it, I guess. So for me, I think again, there's synergy and everything, but crowdfunding, I don't see that going away ever. I don't know. No. It really is important to the whole process.
Well, I think crowdfunding is evolving and it's starting to take more of the market and it's getting noticed. And that's why you've got big names that are like, everyone's actually like, and when you do go to shows and stuff, you get stopped or you get talked, oh, what's that? And then people, there's big names that are interested and they're asking you, how do you get involved? How are you doing it? I mean, it's definitely, a threat to the market. no doubt about it. It's just up to the, you know, independent creators on how far do you want to distribute your stuff, you know? And I think, you know, Ethan, I think you're on point with it. You know, if you got the leftover material, you want to make it available to everyone. If you have a website and you can sell on your website and you're set up for it, put your leftover material there, you know, or do an eBay store, you know, and then they can do that. And now you've got your, you know, you've got that secondary, income coming in from that stuff now too. So it's not just sitting in storage. If someone wants it, it's there, you know, and then you keep working on, you know, what other stuff you're doing, because in Indiegogo is your platform. That is your store. They have on demand or in demand. I'm sorry. In demand. And, you know, you continue to grow it. Right. And so, I mean, I don't know. And Peter, I know you're doing the distribution thing too, or plan on doing it. I mean, but your model's, you know, kind of different than Diamond and such in that way. So I don't know. I think you can just keep it all within yourself, Clint, you know, just keep doing it for you and keeping, you know, however you want to arrange it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll keep, you know, I'm keeping making books and everything. It's like, so I just got, I think I'm at 601 backers, which is great. On the first campaign, after all of the in-demand phase and everything, I had like 930 some odd backers, which is amazing. But yeah, again, it's like I'm just trying to figure out how do you get to, like, I don't know, like Zach's, how many backers do you usually get? Like 3,000 minimum or something on a campaign.
Well, I've got different tiers, but and it's jumps up and down.
Yeah.
My thing that my model is definitely Brian Polito, because he has slowly growing every single time. I even tracked him like some kind of creep. I tracked all of his books up, and it literally goes up like 5-10% every time.
Yeah.
No, he does. Yeah. And that's like Ethan though, like, you know, like the convention thing, like I think you're doing more, or what you're kind of designing is more like what Brian is probably doing, you know, where it's like a convention, but it's more like a hangout, you know, it's more focused solely on, like, well, obviously it's solely on his property.
He's having Fiend Fest next year.
He has Fiend Fest, and all it is like the fans come to hang out, you
That's
know, and he
awesome.
has artists, you know, that have worked on these books and stuff. I mean, it sounds very similar to what you guys are planning.
Yeah, you know, that's what it needs to be. You know, the idea of a comic book convention, to me, it just seems no fun. But hanging out with you guys, and meeting all of the people who you know, super chat us every day and who are in our audiences, all the people that, you know, we speak to who want to come out and have a beer with us and you know, stuff like that, make some t-shirts to sell. That sounds like a really good time. And you know, that's I think what we're aiming for here. I think we should just aim for something that's going to be fun, the real fun, and then just find out what it is and see if it's worth doing a second year. Everything with you know, with Comicsgate right now is just kind of feeling around and sort of finding out where the margins of this thing are, and where we go from here. The energy behind, I think, you know, SJWs in the mainstream is dissipating. It just doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of the quartering just now. He's like, guys, the energy for Comicsgate is all going down. Look at your YouTube channels. Look at Zach's, look at Ethan's YouTube channel. You need to be fighting the power more. And that's going to solve. Well, Zach has been nonstop fighting the power. Zach makes videos 3 times a day. I haven't. I've been, you know, working on Cyberfrog and getting, you know, fulfillment done for Blood Honey, which was an enormous task. And also preparing for Wrecked Planet and Rainbow Brute this year. I'm here to make comics. You know, so the energy, like Clint predicted, you know, last year, Clint said Comicsgate is energy, and what we build from it after it's over. Because the SJWs in the mainstream, that's not going to stop. The mainstream is going to go down because of the infection. What we do with the energy that we build up from here is where the sky is the limit. That's where we're going to be judged at the end of the day. What have we built from Comicsgate? And I think from Comicsgate, what we're building right now is the new comic book industry. And you know, it's a new way for independent creators to get funded, to get their books out there. Ironically, the name Comicsgate, which was meant to sound like a scandal, is actually meant this is the new gateway into prosperity, into doing your own books, getting them funded, having books that do not insult you as a customer, and good customer service, which we're all working on. It's a bigger project than just saying good customer service.
Yeah.
Getting these comics out there quickly and in perfect condition to customers is what we're working on going forward. But we have to just build something. We have to leave something behind from this. And I think we're doing a great job. Clint, making his deal with Alterna was extremely exciting.
Yeah.
Peter being brave and taking Clint on. Clint is the least controversial comic skater of all time.
Depends on who you ask.
That's true. Well, they've tried to make you controversial. There is no making you controversial. But Clint going through Alterna, and he's going to be in comic book stores. Zach working with Hollywood right now, enormous. The Brightwisers with their Allegiance Arts deal, working on magazine distribution through Walmart.
They got a promotional video on Facebook. That's actually why I was late for logging in. It's such a cool thing they've got going. They're about to launch in like 3,300 Walmarts.
That's great. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for
I think
them.
internationally too, right?
I didn't get that far in the video. Maybe that's in the other half of it.
Good for
Okay,
them.
that's
And
incredible.
it's what you guys are doing, each and every one of you, and hopefully Nile this year, he'll get his book out.
Yeah.
You're giving the people what they want. You're listening. The fans have spoken. You're listening to them, and you're selling, and you're giving the fans what they want, and that shows by your success and the growing success with each campaign. Pretty great. I think it's to be positive. I mean, you could be down on the direct market because they never really cared for the independents anyway. We had, no one bought She until She kind of exploded to the fans, and then I remember going to retailers. And there was only like one or two retailers that like, oh yeah, I'll give this book a chance. No one gave the book a chance, And a lot of times the retailers, and be it that because of Marvel and DC and the way that's all set up, that these retailers have to buy 100 copies of Captain Marvel #1. They don't have the money or the time to go and explore great books like Alterna Comics for these creator-owned books. They don't. They're not going to help you until you really don't need them to help you, and then it's a business. It's a business. It's a business relationship. They want to sell that they're conservative. All retail, the majority of retailers are conservative, and they have bills to pay, and they want to sell what they think is going to sell and what's easy for them to sell. So if DC's doing all this stuff and putting all this money into it, that's going to make their job a lot easier to order these books. And unfortunately, when it comes time to us in the previews magazine, they just don't have the funds to buy our books.
Well, what's really unfortunate too is that then when they look at it and they go, well, I'm having a tough time selling the big two. I'm going to have an even harder time selling Alterna or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's how a lot of them view it. But unfortunately, they should view it the other way around. And instead of going more towards just what's familiar, look at quality also. And look at getting new stuff in your store. Because if anything, if you go to every single comic shop, let's say, and they all have the same exact stuff, nothing stands out. Who cares? Yeah. So then if you want to get new books or whatever, you go online, you go to crowdfunding, you get familiar with creators and companies on social media. And at that point, then the retailer is erasing themselves from the equation. So by retailers not actually diversifying what they have in their store, they're actually losing a lot of customers. And, you could almost just have a store right now and do a pull list just for the big two and not even go and stock massive amounts on your shelf. Yeah. Because you don't have to work super hard there to market for Spider-Man or Batman or whatever.
Right.
So it's more paramount that you get these interesting new titles on the shelf so people can see them and market it effectively. There's a lot of stores now that are starting to organize by genre and make it easy. So there's a lot of different things I think people can do. I wanted to get back to something that Zach said too about the comic market and it kind of being the impending doom that awaits. If you had a magic wand and you could just instantly go, boom, here's what I'd fix about everything, and it's fixed tomorrow, what would you do?
Me?
Yeah.
I get a soda vending machine.
Not you, Nile. Zach.
Oh.
I don't care what you have to say.
I gotta tell you, soda vending machine was like the first comic store I ever went to. They had one inside, and that was because I was like a kid riding my bike, so that was mandatory. Oh my gosh! And my local one has a little mini fridge, and that's good in the summer. But honestly, the number one thing I would fix in the comic book industry is the horrible hostility of the pros. I'm still, after covering it for 3 years, I'm still shocked. I was doing the the monthly Comic-Con sales figures, and a book that I actually think is good. Gail Simone's doing a Lionforge book called Catalyst. She doesn't talk about it, and I looked at her Twitter, and her Twitter was an entire day of just making fun of common customer complaints and making them look to be foolish and stupid and backward and just everything. And this is an everyday occurrence. I've said this all the time. I fought in 2 wars, and the worst people I've ever met in my entire life are in the comic book industry. It's just truly shocking how petty and mean-spirited and vindictive and stupid they are. I would say, can we get the level of professionalism that I can get at any grocery store in this industry?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, I didn't say, do the impossible.
He just gave you his wish list. That's all.
So let's say, boom, everyone is polite, professional. Everyone has the salesmanship of Stan Lee and the presence and the kindness to boot. What else could we do to fix it? Because we can have really great pros in this industry, and it still might not translate to sales. Do you have any other ideas of what we could do?
I think to do what you're doing now. I think you're a great model for it. I think look at what Zach's doing. Look what Ethan's doing on the upper echelon, and go directly to the fans. You go to the fans. The fans are going to want something. Then you put a book out, a special edition, through Diamond, through a comic shop. The fans are going to want that book. Say, well, you want this special edition? You can only get it through here. Your numbers may not be very big, but that's why you expand it. But then again, do you really need them? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you need them. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful new page that has been turned in the history of comics. Is to go directly to the fans through these crowdfunding, through Indiegogo, through Kickstarter, and sell your books right to the fans. Do what we're doing. Do like with the YouTube shows. You get on YouTube. You're interacting with the fans. You have people coming and asking us questions. You have people telling, "Don't get Clint angry. You won't like him when he's angry." And it's fun.
Cracking me up.
Things going on, and just do it like this. Like you said, it's like an interactive comic book convention.
Yeah.
Start there. Start there. Keep it simple, stupid. Right, kiss Ethan. Right, Ethan. Kiss Ethan.
Exactly. Everything.
Kiss Ethan. Tongue or no tongue? What's going on here?
Well, I mean,
I've got gum.
Yeah.
So I'm prepared for either way.
I'm gonna have a glass of scotch after this. So.
I want to make one point too, is that, and for me, the goal has been to make comics. YouTube has been a really great tool for that and getting to know people and everything. But I feel like the making the comics part is a whole lot more important than activism. I guess it's kind of going back a little bit, but I've never considered myself an activist, and I feel like maybe that's where, I don't know, some interpretations go wrong. And I guess I'm talking about the quartering a little bit, but I think it's there are enough activists in comics already. That's kind of what I don't like about comics, and you get it in the books, and that's obnoxious. And so I'm kind of anti-activism. I just want to have an opinion is all, and entertain people, and then make comics,
Yeah, I was going to say, be entertainers. We're entertainers.
Absolutely.
When did people forget that in comics? You want to, protest all day long. You want to go into politics, please, by all means, you get one life. Go do what you want to do with it. But
I mean, how draining is it? I mean, I follow all you guys on Twitter and other social media, and I see it, right? I see you guys going back and forth with people, back and forth. We've, fortunately haven't really had too much of that. But you know, how draining is it
to deal with those kinds of people?
Yeah, just deal with, like, you know, you wake up in the morning, you're starting your day, and all of a sudden you just got all these tweets going, firing at you. I mean, you get numb to it. It's just, you just reply and move on. Does it get, you know?
Well, when I was naive enough to think people were arguing in good faith, it was incredibly draining, and it was awful, and it's mentally exhausting, and it wears on your spirit because you assume, you know, people aren't coming at you just to piss all over you. And you think, hey, I'm not a bad person. I can just kind of talk to this person and maybe get to them. And you realize quickly you can't. And at this point, especially though, I'm done with any of that. I got other stuff to do. People can come at me the same way that they used to before, when all the craziness happened at the end of 2018. I don't know. They're going to find silence. I don't have any
because those people never say
any desire to get into it. No.
Yeah. Well, they feel safe, but, you know, these keyboard John Gottis, you know what I mean? They'll say stuff, you know, behind their keyboard that they'd never say to your face.
Yeah. And
they feel, and they're safe in their little safe space to insult and to lie and just the negativity. And I just find it friggin' annoying. I really do. And that's why I just ignore it. I think I've been pretty good at it too. Mm-hmm. Some days, you know, you do get that lump in your throat, you know? And I remember Rich back going in the days of Facebook, and I remember posting like, there's Rich Meyer out there like a brick wall in the middle of a shitstorm again about just anything, you know? And it's just, you know, you just got to accept those people for what they are. They're not happy in their own lives. They're incredibly jealous of the success of others, and they'll do everything in their power to try to, you know, for that whole cancel culture thing.
Mm-hmm. You just got to keep on doing your thing. And Billy, I know you could probably relate to this. I don't know if you other guys play hockey at all, but Billy, as a fellow hockey player, I think you'll understand what I mean when I say sometimes you just got to play the man and not the puck.
Yeah,
you gotta just stay on the actual objective here, and not just, you know, follow around the whole thing and get lost with it, and then before you know it, you're getting played.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you're getting thrown off your game. And if we keep trying to adjust to everybody else instead of doing what we got to do, we're the ones that are going to suffer. They're already suffering, and they want us to suffer with them.
Right. So
why should we give them what they want?
We just need some good old-fashioned locker room hugs and just, you know, make some good comics, right?
Yeah. And then you know, you grab a shower beer and you relax.
Kick it out and spend time with the people, like-minded people that do want to have, you know, open discussions with you and all, and just enjoy yourself. This is man. It's supposed to be fun. You can't have fun making comic books. I don't know what the hell you can have fun doing.
And if you're not having fun with comics, if you're not you know, just psyched about it and enthusiastic about it, your readers sure as hell aren't going to be. If you don't care about what you're doing, why do you want readers to care about that as well? And they're not going to care. Right. Well, so when the whole industry kind of goes, I'm making comics, I guess no one's going to read them, but okay. That energy comes across.
Yeah.
And we don't need any of that. We need people that are excited about it. We need people that are saying, you know, making comics is the greatest thing in the world. And this is what I want to do with my life. And I'm telling a story. And I would love if you got this book in front of you and you read it, and if you enjoyed it, and that'd make my day. And if you don't enjoy it, let me know. And then I'll take that into consideration, and then maybe move on to the next book and take that criticism, see if it rings true. Because as we're all creators, we all have done this thing where we go, man, this really sucks. I got to go back to the drawing board. I can't do anything right today. This is awful. You know, people that go, how could you tear up a comic? I'm like, you want to know how many pieces of original art I've torn up to shreds?
Oh yeah.
That I'm like, this is garbage. You know, so it's one of those things of you just have to take it and move on. And if you're a pro, you got to treat it like you're in the majors. And if the whole crowd is booing you, you know what you do? You hit a freaking home run. All right. You don't go into the crowd, you don't go into the stands and you start telling off the fans, the customers that are there. They paid for the ticket. They get to boo the hell out of you if they want. And that includes sometimes the home team. I mean, all of us, you know, you can get frustrated when you really care. And every single person in this chat right now and in this little panel here, we all love comics more than, you know, a lot of other things in life. Otherwise, we wouldn't care so much. So I see it that it's all about that. It's everybody that's passionate about it and cares so much. And we got to start understanding we're all coming from the same kind of place. And let's do something with that energy and really do something for comics before it's too late. Everyone's fighting about the whole industry and this and that. We keep fighting. We're not going to have a damn industry to fight about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, I saw this come up. This question from Blue Samurai Zero. It says, one problem I see in crowdfunding is neglect. When people do both Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they tend to forget Indiegogo while updating and delivering to Kickstarter customers. What? I mean, what's your guys' take on that? Because you guys don't do Kickstarter.
Well, I did Kickstarter, and I think we're going to do Indiegogo for the next one because it was just too much work, and we did Kickstarter first. Just because that's what everyone was doing and that's what we had done and we were comfortable with. But I know that every time we send out an update for Indiegogo, we send an update to the Kickstarter people too. So I haven't had that experience, or I hope they don't think that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So plus, especially now that that our Indiegogo numbers have surpassed our Kickstarter numbers on both our comic book campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Brian Blevin says we need to confront Clint's inappropriate conduct on this 100th episode.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry. I keep smiling because I'm reading the chat and they're cracking me up.
Oh, I know they're going right at
guys.
you, man. It's funny as hell.
I love them. I love it. Somebody said it. Somebody said if you look into the mirror and say Clint's name 3 times, see what happens. That one had me. That was funny.
All right.
Now, is it true that Indiegogo may start allowing, let's say, top tier creators who are doing very, very successful campaigns to run more than one?
Yeah, the deal is that you can do more than one, but then you don't get a payout until you've fulfilled your last one.
Gotcha.
That's cool. That shows the faith. That's great.
That's faith right there. That's an evolution in crowdfunding.
Keep them going, man. Keep it going. Positive. Keep it going. Get your books out, and just keep rocking and rolling, man. This is a great time. This is a new golden age for creator-owned work like never seen before.
And Ethan, are you going to get into crowdfunding?
Thinking about it, yeah. I just want to say Indiegogo's great. I mean, I think they've been treating us very, very well. And not listening to social justice warriors and not listening to people who wanted to platform us. They've been strong and true and steady, and I appreciate them. They're also they answer concerns pretty quickly when I send them their way. So it's Indiegogo for me. I'll be doing Indiegogo all this year.
There you go. Me too.
Oh, nice.
Kickstarter just unionized too.
Yeah, they just unionized. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But and like going back and forth, because we talked to all different creators on both platforms. But and me and Billy were talking. I was just like, really, it is a far superior setup on Indiegogo. I mean, you fulfill your book, and then while you're finishing your book, you can just have your stuff in demand. And then literally, once your stuff's done, it's like, all right, well, let me take account of what I need.
Yeah.
Right, and that's it.
And they charge their cards immediately. And that is a big deal because in Kickstarter, you'll miss some percentage just because they'll be mischarged. I don't know that I need to be the focus here, though.
Seems to be what the people want.
Yeah.
But no, man, I really appreciate you guys coming out for our 100th episode. We're still growing. We're steadily growing. We're trying to bring in a lot of creators doing things. You guys have been very supportive of what we're doing, and again, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to join us.
Yeah, and especially you guys. I mean, Clint, all you guys have far bigger followings than us, a YouTube presence, and we really appreciate you taking time away from your own shows and the monetary aspects of it to come onto ours. We really do. All you guys, thank you so much for that. It means everything. You guys have been with us from the beginning, and just thank you. Really, really, really appreciate it.
Anytime. Yeah, I love coming. I love talking to you guys.
So, all right. So we'll have you guys on again. Zach, you'll hear from me tomorrow, okay, before lunchtime with some more roughs.
Okay, it's not going to be like Garfield or anything like tomorrow, is it?
I'm going to do what you asked me to do. I was inspired.
It should be stick figures just for that comment.
Thank you, guys. EBS.
Well, Billy, just trace the line that sent you and we'll be all set.
Yeah, I'll just trace pictures. That's all.
That's it.
Photographs.
That's all you can do. Or
And-
have Ethan draw it and send it to you. You know, and this way it'll look good.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing roughs. Amazing concepts.
Oh shit.
Guys, thank you all so much. EVS, go back to bed. Zach, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peter,
Is
as
that a
always,
robe you're wearing or just a hoodie?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a hoodie. Yeah, I just threw
What
on a
is
hoodie.
it? It looks really comfortable, like really soft.
It is. It's quality. It's a quality garment.
Nice.
I rolled out of bed and just came down here. So
well, we appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
And guys, also for bringing your viewers over to us too. Thank you so much.
Yes,
You've
thank
been
you.
great, guys. You're awesome.
Yeah, we'll continue
Thank
supporting
you,
your guys' stuff, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
for having me.
hey, our
Yeah.
pleasure. Happy 100.
Buddy.
Thank you.
Again. All right, so Nile, what do you say, man?
I know.
It's
It's a wrap. It's a wrap, man.
It's a wrap. Well, you guys did it. Thank you all. This was a great show.
I think you're still live, aren't you? Or
We are still live.
Yeah, we're still live.
We've got to do our we've got a crowdfunding call out tonight. Have you guys heard of Chaotic Flux?
No.
Yeah, I
Issue
have.
2, Aliens versus Monsters Part 2. Frank set this one up. Let's check this shit out.
Check
All
this
right.
shit. Nice.
Chaotic Flux Issue 2, Aliens versus Monsters Part 2. So they have 3 days left. They're still trying to make goal. Their goal is $4,000. But you guys should check this out. This is issue 2.
That
It looks cool. I like this. Color's nice. I mean, unfortunately, I just got this over to me before the show because Frank wasn't able to meet me because of a bunch of meetings and things I had. So I didn't get too much, diving deep into this. But I did look at the art. The art looks great. I still got to dive into the story some more. But if you guys can, check it out. If Chaotic Flux is something you guys are into, help back it, pledge, share on all your social media if you can. If you don't have the funds, just share it. Help them make goal. They got 3 days left to hit $4,000. See if you can make it happen for Chaotic Flux.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
Looks great though.
All right.
Looks good. All right, awesome, fantastic.
All right, so
All right,
what
gentlemen.
we learned is that crowdfunding is the way to go, and it doesn't.
Crowdfunding is the way to go.
And when you talk retailers, it depresses Zach. He gets pissed off. He starts talking about retail. He's like, "Yeah, I don't think so."
Why does it depress him? He's not distributing through the retailers.
Because he
It
doesn't
depress me and you, Billy.
That's it.
You guys are great, man. Thank you all so much. Tomorrow, who do we have, Nile?
We got Brian Polito and Isaac Bell on tomorrow. So for the first half of the show, we've got Brian Polito, and then I'm going to bring Isaac Bell on. He's got a really cool project. I'll post some of his stuff. It's good shit.
Perfect. You guys are great. So Cash Grab, yes, Cecil's kicking ass with his book. Well done for him.
Mm-hmm.
That skiing masked man. And you guys have been great. Thank you all.
All right.
Ethan, thank you for the time out. Zach, you too. I know how busy you are. Both you guys. Peter, I don't know when you sleep. And Clint, just keep kicking ass with that book, buddy. You got
Right.
3,000 in the next 2 days. You got it.
Will do.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow night at 9. Thank you again to our guests, and hopefully we'll have you guys back on soon.
Thank
All
you.
right, everyone. Have yourselves a great night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank
See
you.
you. Happy 100th, man. Woo!
Happy 100th. We did it.
We did it, man.
Look, everybody. We did it.
That
Just
was
joking.
great.
Hey guys, thanks again for tuning into Crowdfunding Comics. We look forward to hanging out with all of our crowdfunding fans every time we go live. And don't forget to click the link below and subscribe to our channel. And there's a little bell. You may want to hit that too. This way you get all the great notifications when we go live and when we upload some awesome content. You want to follow us? Sure, go right ahead at Twitter at CrowdFundComics with an X, Instagram Crowdfunding Comics, and Facebook at Crowdfunding Comics. Till next time, crowdfunding fans, we'll see you soon.